So the live stream is building. So are you ready, Luke?
No, my eye news has gone.
Perfect timing. Here we go. So the live stream is building. So are you ready?
Yes.
We are live. Away you go.
Good evening and welcome to the Solent Sports News Night. I'm your host, Luke Wallace, and alongside me is our... Yes.
We are live.
Alongside me is our very own panel of pundits. Charlie Parker, representing the Northern Quarter, Jack Cross, subtitles not available on that one, I'm afraid, and our very own Paul Merson, George Power. Good evening, boys. Thank you very much for giving up your precious Tuesday night to be with us. Jack, I'll come to you first after that intro. How are you feeling this evening?
Yeah, you love that subtitles little joke. Yeah, not bad, mate. Are you?
Yeah, it never gets old. Next, I'll come to Charlie. Charlie, because you've got the big game this evening in the Championship, really. Bournemouth versus Swansea, as we can see in the background there. Looking forward to your game?
Yeah, I am. I am at fake Vitality Stadium here. It's two teams at the top half of the table fighting for Premier League status again. We'll see what happens.
And, of course, the wonderful George Power is sat there with his lockdown haircut. George, a mid-table League Two clash for you this evening. I imagine the excitement for you is really building at this point.
I mean, it's not the most exciting of games, but if it Crawley come out with a win, it can really boost their season. So there's a lot to play for tonight.
A lot to play for, yeah. And we'll be covering all the way from the Champions League right down to the National League. And you might see one face I haven't quite introduced yet. That's John Baisley, our producer. His face might appear occasionally, but he's here in the background. Before we dive into the Champions League then, Jack, let's talk a little bit about your game. Obviously, we can see in the background that you're at London Road. Peterborough versus Portsmouth, a massive game for Portsmouth without manager Kenny Jackett. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, like you say, it's a big game for Portsmouth, especially after Kenny Jackett's departure. Don't know how different their play will be, considering their assistant Joe Gallen's coming to take charge of this game. But Peterborough have only lost once at home this season. I think they had the best home form in the league up until they played Hull last week, and they unfortunately lost. But yeah, I think the majority of games that have been played between these two at London Road's been a draw, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
And can either of them jump hole tonight? Obviously, your local side, if people can't tell from the accent. Can either of them catch your side?
No, this is the first of Peterborough's 3 games in hand they've got on Hull, but Hull are 6 points clear, so if they win, they'll stay second.
Okay, very interesting. Charlie, back to you then. Bournemouth in a kind of poor run of form, really, since Jonathan Woodgate took over. Do you think that might cost them their playoff place?
Yeah, they're currently sitting 7th, 5 points away from Barnsley, and they lost to Barnsley 3-2 at the weekend. And they're facing the best defence in the league. Freddie Woodman, the goalkeeper for Swansea, most clean sheets in the league, has 18. And they've only conceded 25 goals. I'll be really interested to see if Dominic Solanke can score one today.
Yeah, good old Dominic Solanke. Liverpool definitely got some good money for him. George, is that a player you're familiar with? Because he came through at the Chelsea Academy before joining Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Not very good taste leaving Stamford Bridge with the Chelsea fans, but no, he's a good player, but came through quite young, didn't quite make it, and typical Chelsea selling on the youngsters.
Okay, then let's react to the big breaking news just coming out then. Aita Karanga has left Birmingham City. Of course, it's been rumoured for a few days since their poor performance at the weekend. Lee Bowyer resigned as Charlton manager and has headed straight to Birmingham, a side he played for, of course. Charlie, obviously you're on our Championship game tonight. A good appointment in your book?
Well, he's done pretty well with Birmingham. He's done pretty well with Charlton, sorry. Get it wrong. I think he'll definitely help Birmingham maybe get back up in the promotion places, maybe. I think it's going to be a struggle. They may have to invest some more, but we'll have to give him some time. It's near the end of the season. We may not be able to tell what he can do this season. It's too little, too late. we'll see what happens next.
And Jack, obviously, Birmingham are in the middle of the relegation dogfight, something you had experience with last season. Do you think Lee Bowyer's the man to get them across the line and keep them safe?
Yeah, I was surprised about the appointment. I think he's only really got the job on the technicality he used to play for them, but especially like Charlie said, he's done all right at Charlton, and I mean, he's not had the best season this year. He got relegated last year, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. I can only see Birmingham really staying up from the form of Sheffield Wednesday and Wickham, Rotherham below them, to be honest.
Okay, then, time to look forward to tonight. Then our very first game is the big one. It's from the Puskás Arena in Hungary as Manchester City host Borussia Mönchengladbach. Watching the game for us tonight is Ryan Honey. So let's test the link first of all. First time tonight. Good evening, Ryan.
Good evening from the Puskás Arena.
That's a nice window you've got to the right there.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get a little bit closer to the Puskás Arena as the night goes on. Well, hopefully for the game, in time for the game.
A big game for Manchester City. I think it's fair to say Pep is kind of prioritising the Champions League trophy this year. 2-0 up on aggregate. Should it be a straightforward night for them?
Well, you'd like to think so. I mean, they've made the best possible start in the two legs. Obviously, bringing a 2-0 advantage. Goals from Bernardo Silva and Gabriel Jesus in the first leg have made that possible. I'm sure Pep Guardiola will see this as a game that they can progress and get to the quarterfinal stage for the fourth consecutive season. So, I mean, you know, they rested players at the weekend, the likes of De Bruyne, Sterling, Foden, Gundogan, and I'm sure they'll be involved tonight in some way or another. And you'd like to think that they will get the job done.
Go on then. Will Manchester City win the Champions League this year?
Well, I mean, that's the $100 million question, isn't it? Who knows? I mean, Pep Guardiola will see this as his best opportunity to do so since he's joined the club. They've obviously had a very good season in the Premier League so far, top of the league by 14 points with 8 games to go, and they will see this as their season to win the Champions League. So whether it happens or not, I think it'd be between them, PSG, and Bayern Munich. But if they're going to win it, it will be this season, I think.
Do you think Guardiola will be seen as a failure if he doesn't win the Champions League at Man City, especially with all the money he's spent?
I think that's a good question. He obviously spent a hell of a lot of money, but this season feels different to any other season. You know, you look at the likes of Ruben Diaz, the impact he's come in and made. Clean sheets galore. And the squad depth as well. Foden's really made his breakthrough into the team, and Gundogan's even stepping up with the goals. So this season does feel different in a way. So if it is going to happen, like I was saying before, it will be this season. And whether Guardiola can do it is another question. Hasn't won the Champions League since 2011 with Barcelona. So he will be feeling, you know, this is their season, and whether or not he can do it is another question.
Cool. Ryan, thank you very much. Obviously an 8 o'clock kickoff for you. So we'll come back to you about half time in the EFL games for the team news.
Cheers,
Cool.
Luke.
Next up then, we're off to the Bernabeu. Mickey Dresati is now with us. Real Madrid versus Atalanta. Only the second time in history these two teams have met. Mickey, you looking forward to the game this evening?
I am indeed, though it won't be in the Santiago Bernabeu. The stadium is getting renewed and will not be in charge until the end of 2022. So it'll be a bit upsetting, you know, to play in the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium right behind me. It's quite smaller. There won't be fans, but that doesn't mean that there are a lot of chances at stake here.
He's been on the program 30 seconds and he's showing me up already. This is unbelievable. But better do my research next time. Anyway, Real Madrid are ahead on aggregate coming into this tie, aren't they? A poor showing from them in last year's Champions League competition. Can you see them going better this time around?
Definitely. When you look at it, Atalanta have had a better run than Real Madrid last year. They had gone until the quarterfinals only to get knocked out by the runners-up PSG. And while Madrid haven't made it past the round of 16, that said, it will still be a very close contest tonight. Madrid do have the advantage. It's at their home, and they have already the win from past couple of weeks. They do have Karim Benzema returning from injury, who hasn't been in the first leg. He's their best player on paper this year, scoring 15 goals in the league, 5 in the Champions League. Last time he's played in the competition, he scored a brace against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and there's a very high chance for them to get through. You have to still give credit for Atalanta. They're not an easy side. They have worked very hard in the past 3 years to get to where they are right now. In the past 3 years, they haven't finished outside the top 4 in the Serie A, and have been producing some incredible performances. Add to that, they've only lost 1 game in the last 5. So yeah, don't write anything off tonight and just enjoy the game.
I think you said yesterday, Gianpiero Giampiassi, the Atalanta manager, he lives and dies by his style of play. Do you think that's a strength or a weakness for them coming into this when they're already behind?
I think it will be a strength because they're quite the attacking side. It's not like they have the lead and they want to protect it. No, they're out there and they have the players that can score the goals. Zapata has scored a few for the side. Luis Muriel has scored 16 this season with all the scorers in Serie A, the likes of Immobile, Lukaku, and Ronaldo. He's the 3rd top scorer in the league, and he knows how to score. He knows how to score goals. Only one problem for him: he knows how to score goals against the weaker sides, and he does that more often than the bigger ones. But they still have the right players. Last time, Roman Freuler got sent off. The player that might be replacing him is Mario Pasalic. He's just scored a brace on the weekend, so he's on a good form. He's feeling good. Muriel as well scored a goal. They won 3-1 against Spezia. And keep in mind that Madrid, their only player that can score actually goals is Benzema. So if they can take care of him, they can do a good work. Last time it was just a defender that scored a very, I wouldn't say a lucky goal, but not something that you would see often. And yeah.
Cool. Mickey, then a very short answer for me. A score prediction for tonight, please.
I'd say 2-1 Madrid.
Very nice. Looks like Real Madrid will be heading through then. Mickey, thank you very much as well. An 8 o'clock kickoff there. So we'll be back to you for team news a lot later on in the evening. Up next, quite a significant game in the EFL Championship. Derby face Brentford at Pride Park. James Simmons is with us now. Good evening, James. Are you looking forward to this one?
Yes, good evening. It's not quite Champions League, but who needs Real Madrid when you got Derby County?
So in terms of this one, it's quite a shock Derby season, really. Philip Cocu got sacked earlier on in the season. Wayne Rooney is kind of rebuilding the ship, but no win in 5 again now. Will that be a concern coming into this one?
Yeah, it obviously will be, especially considering Brentford's form. They've got 3 wins in 4. They're looking to push up into the automatic promotion place. And Derby, they're only 7 points off the bottom 3. They're looking over their shoulder. That kind of form, especially when you're in a relegation fight, it's always going to cause worries.
Absolutely. Do you think Derby at times can be a bit of a one-man team with Colin Kazim Richards seeming to carry them quite a lot?
Yeah, they've got the lowest amount of goals in the division. Their attacking output is pretty much Colin Kazim Richards, and he's only got 7 goals for them. Now you look at Brentford, Ivan Toney's got 26 goals for them. Both strikers, there's a big contrast. And Derby haven't scored in their past 4 matches. So they pretty much need Kazim Richards to turn it on, because Brentford look unstoppable. They've got 62 goals in the Championship. That's the most. So it's the battle of the highest scorers versus the lowest scorers. I know it's tough to work out which one's going to win.
I can see you smiling because my green screen is starting to eat part of my face, which looks really professional, but there we go. For Brentford then, like you say, in stark contrast, loving the goals at the minute. Ivan Toney's made the jump up from League One and can't stop scoring. Do you think they could run away with it tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they need 3 goals, a 3-goal win to get into the top 2. I'm sure Thomas Frank and managers like planning for that. They want that. It's quite interesting to see the contrast in the seasons, because both Derby and Brentford made it into the automatic promotion places. Derby's season has been an absolute calamity. Brentford look like they're pushing on. They've sold Watkins, they've sold Benrahma, but their recruitment is probably the best in English football at the moment. They seem to consistently produce key signings for cheap. And Ivan Toney was at, for this season, 5 million and yet 26 goals.
Yeah, the perfect replacement for Ollie Watkins. Go on then, James. We'll ask you for a score prediction as well then for tonight.
I'll go a big score. I'll go 4-1.
4-1. Blimey, we'll be coming to you a lot tonight then. I hope you're prepared. James, thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you in just a little while. Kickoff is at 7 at Pride Park. The rest of our games tonight then, Cardiff host Stoke City at the Cardiff City Stadium. Luton take on Coventry, and that's a big game at the bottom of the Championship. Rotherham host Watford. That looks like it'll be a tough game for them. Middlesbrough host Preston at the Riverside Stadium. And Charlie, will come to you at the Vitality Stadium. AFC Bournemouth face Swansea. We've already touched on this game a bit. Let's start with the team news for tonight.
Well, the team news is that Adam Smith for Bournemouth was substituted early in the game against Barnsley. He doesn't look like he will play at all. Mark Guehi is a game time decision. They still actually haven't announced if Guehi will play yet. And Lewis Cook was announced at the weekend. He ruptured his ACL a week ago and he is out for the rest of the season and maybe the start of next season. But other than that, Swansea have no new injury concerns, so they're looking good for this game.
Of course, all the games except Charlie's tonight are a 7 o'clock kickoff, so I'll be relying on Charlie for a bit of chit-chat for the time being. On to League One then. At the bottom, it's a huge game. 24th place Wimbledon take on 21st place Wigan. Hello, James. Nice to see you there. Thanks for invading. Next up is Blackpool versus Burton Albion at Bloomfield Road. Burton on an incredible run of form since Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank took over there. Charlton take on Bristol Rovers. Managerless Charlton, of course, face Joey Barton's Bristol Rovers at the Valley. Lincoln host Gillingham. Lincoln in a poor run of form, one of Hull City's rivals at the top of the table. They currently sit third after a poor run of form recently. They host Gillingham. The MK Dons host Plymouth Argyle at Stadium MK. Oxford United host Doncaster Rovers in the race for the playoffs. We'll be talking to Joe Parker a bit about that later on. And then we come to Jack Cross's game. Peterborough United host Portsmouth at the Western Home Stadium. Jack, a massive game. I mean, 2nd versus 7th. It doesn't come much bigger this evening.
No, we spoke earlier about how big a game it is for Portsmouth, especially Kenny Jackett leaving the club after the defeat to Salford at the weekend. And, well, it's a bit strange because it was last year's Papa John's Trophy final, but I'm sure they'd have still wanted to get the victory of the one day champions. But yeah, coming to today's game, and they haven't won in the last. Well, they've won 1 of the last 5. Portsmouth obviously they made 5 changes tonight from the defeat of the weekend. John Marquis was a doubt after he went off in extra time. He failed a fitness test this morning. They've made 5 changes. He's obviously out. George Byers has been dropped. Charlie Daniels dropped. Harvey White's dropped. Jordi Hurula's dropped. Rasmus Nikarlison, Ben Close, Andy Cannon, Lee Brown and Ronan Curtis has come in. So you see Joe Gallen's obviously trying to put his own spin on the team, or see if we can get them actually trying to pick up some points. But yeah, as for Peterborough, they'll definitely be looking to close Hull down. And I think they'll see this as a crucial one because Hull ain't got a midweek game until the middle of April now because they didn't have many postponed. So this is the first of the 3 games in hand, and as Hull 6 points clear, that they need to get at least 7 from the 3 games in hand. So they need to get a win tonight. Yeah,
Joe Gallen clearly fancies himself as a bit of a tinkerman. For Kenny Jackett, it's a tough job at Portsmouth because you look through their roster and it's not like for example, Hull, where you've just come down, you know you've got recognisable Championship quality in the squad. You look at that Portsmouth squad and you think they're all good League One players, but there's no real standout or Championship quality players in that squad.
No, every year they seem to just get into the playoff spots, but never can quite get over the line. And they do invest in some ways trying to strengthen, like they brought in John Marquis from Doncaster after he had a good season, getting them into the playoffs, but it just hasn't really kicked on for him. And he did well to get them back from League Two into League One, but he just hadn't really kicked on. And I'm sure the board will be looking to get a swift appointment in to try and get them into the Championship as soon as possible.
And Peterborough, for Darren Ferguson, they're one of those teams that are always at the right end of the table, but they come into this on the end of back-to-back defeats. We know Peterborough gets shaky around this time of the year. Do you think the Peterborough bottle could be starting again?
Yeah, well, as we know, they've got a reputation for it, but yeah, like you said, lost the last two, but they haven't won in 3 games, and they've made 2 changes. Like Ethan Hamilton misses out after he got a red card in the last game against Hull. And the one that I've seen on social media, the fans are a bit confused about Sammy Szmodic's in the scene tonight. And as we know, he's definitely someone that can change the game. And Louis Reed and Harrison Burrows have come in to replace him for tonight's game. But Darren Ferguson will definitely be looking to get back on track.
Cool. And Jack, a scoreline prediction for you then for tonight, please.
I think Portsmouth might nick it 2-1.
Cool. Thank you very much. And then the late kickoff in League One tonight comes from Highbury. It's Fleetwood versus Ipswich. Obviously, 2 new managers in the dugouts at each respective club there. Simon Grayson versus Paul Cook. We're going to jump down a division into League One then. Cheltenham host Barrow, top of the league. Host Barrow, who have just moved out of the relegation places in 22nd. And then we had George Power's game. Our skinhead Paul Merson for the evening. Crawley versus Walsall. George, you probably picked the most mid-table clash you could, 10th versus 19th.
Yeah, it is a very mid-table clash, but I think you'll find it's 9th versus 23rd, Luke.
Oh dear, I've just embarrassed myself again there. Oh,
yeah,
well. Thanks
not
for
a
that,
great
George.
start for you today, but
Don't come back for the rest of the evening.
See you there. No, Crawley have won three games in a row, 1-0. So following that pattern, tonight won't be too exciting, but Walsall on bad form at the moment, just a couple sitting in 23rd place. And
George, do you know what? I've just done my research and I was right.
Were you?
Oh dear, yeah, it's 10th versus 19th because I've just remembered 23rd is Southend because they're really struggling at the minute.
Oh, it's not great for my research then.
George. George.
Brian
See what we call you, Merson?
More like Kamara at this point. Brian Dunn's first 7 games haven't gone too well either, with 2 draws and 5 losses. So he'll be looking to change it around tonight, but against Crawley, I don't see it happening.
Not at all.
Not at all. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-0 Crawley win.
Even with Crawley haven't had the best run of form since their cup run, really, have they? I mean, they went on this brilliant cup run, got all the way to Spurs, I think it was, and have barely won a game since.
Yeah, well, they've looked more stable in recent weeks. They've stopped letting goals in, but only tonight will tell.
Fair enough. Go on then. A score prediction for you then, please.
I'm going to say 2-0 Crawley.
2-0. Okay, interesting. We might come to you a couple of times this evening then. Elsewhere in League Two, we have Mansfield versus Carlisle. Port Vale versus Newport County. Of course, Newport just recovering their form. Salford versus Colchester United. And Scunthorpe versus Oldham, as well as a full-fledged schedule of National League fixtures. We're just approaching 7 p.m. The first few kickoffs. So, Charlie, I'm going to come back to you for the time being. We touched on the Champions League earlier. Obviously, it's taking centre stage tonight. Who would you back to win the competition this year?
I would like to say Man City because I feel Pep Guardiola has to win it this year for his reputation, for everything. He's done it with Barcelona. Didn't quite get there with Bayern Munich, but can he do it with Man City? This Man City side, who's been excellent, barring the Man United game recently, they've been unstoppable this season. But I think the Mbappe-led PSG also has a chance. I think we're looking at those two in the final, and maybe Man City edged them there.
It's interesting you mentioned Mbappe. Do you think we've seen a changing of the guard now from Ronaldo and Messi to Mbappe and Haaland?
We absolutely have, and it's interesting that these players never play in England. They're always somewhere else. We can't get one. Maybe next time.
Can't have them all. We've got Phil Foden. He's pretty good.
I think Phil Foden. He may be a couple of years down the line for the third best player, but Mbappe and Haaland, they will dominate football like Messi and Ronaldo did, in my opinion.
You think they can reach the same level?
I know a lot of teams like Man City are in for Haaland this summer. I'm really interested to see what happens with Borussia Dortmund and see what they do, if they sell him or not. He'll be worth a lot of money.
I mean, if Man City sign Haaland, we might as well all go home. There'll be no Premier League next year. They'll run away with it like Liverpool did. Jack, what about you? Do you agree with that statement that Mbappe and Haaland will reach the same level that Ronaldo and Messi do?
I think it's looking that way if they keep up the current form how they're playing each year. But I think Mbappe is more likely at the minute than Haaland, just because we've seen him do it for a few more years. But you can definitely see them overtaking it. But I think it will depend on to get the heights of Ronaldo, whether one of them do come to England, and it's looking like Haaland's the most likely this summer. But I think he's got a release clause after this summer, so I don't know if Dortmund will want to try and get the most money they can out of a club this summer before maybe not getting as much as they could in future windows.
Well, he seems happy at Dortmund. Do you think they'll have to sell him?
I think that'll depend on the conversation they'll have between themselves if a bid does come in, because obviously there's nothing to talk about if a bid don't come in. He'll just stay, and he's as you say, he's happy to just play for Dortmund. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do. Yeah,
I don't think it'll be Bayern that buy him. I'll put it that way. George, do you reckon? Obviously, you are a Chelsea fan. Do you think your club could potentially sign Haaland?
There is rumours of it, but I don't see it happening, to be honest. I don't think it'd be his preferred destination in England. I think the lucrative Man City move would be much more attractive to a player like him.
Do you think Man City do buy the league every year? Do you think with the amount of money they do spend, do you think we need to re-look at financial fair play and kind of sustainability and bits like that?
I mean, they do, but they looked at financial fair play before, and they basically go away with it after being charged with financial fair play. Like, no one stripped them their Premier League titles. It's just the way the game's gone. Like, there's nothing you'll ever be able to do about it to change it.
Yeah, because obviously, Jack, for clubs like, obviously I'm a Reading fan, you're a Hull City fan, we are kind of stuck. Financial fair play for us means the rich teams stay rich and the poor teams stay poor. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it was been different in League One this year. Obviously, everyone had a salary cap, and I know obviously everyone can only spend the same amount, but the bigger clubs obviously can get to the max of that amount. But I think it would be interesting to see what happened. But I think it would just be too even if those salary caps in like the Prem, the Championship. It's quite controversial, but I quite like to see Man City like. If you've got the money, I want you to be able to spend it and win stuff. I know I'd want Hull to be doing that.
Yeah, your owners are not fans of spending money, are they?
No, they like to take the money in and get rid of good players. But we'll see if anyone wants to buy us in the summer. If what I hope happens.
Cool. Right then, and Charlie, back to you. I mean, Chris Wilder did a brilliant job at Sheffield United, as we know. He's now departed. Two questions on this one. First of all, are Sheffield United now sunk? And do you think he'll be heading to Celtic?
I think they were sunk either way. I think it's surprising how much difference Dean Henderson has made to the side. On loan from Man United last year, you may disagree, but they were good last year. They are bottom of the table on 14 points without a manager. And Chris Wilder, maybe he'll go to Celtic. Maybe an Eddie Howe will go to Celtic, maybe. But Chris Wilder is a great manager. Has been. He got this club from League One to the Premier League, to a good Premier League side, and they just slipped this year. I'm really interested to see what Wilder does next. I'm definitely invested in Chris Wilder.
I mean, you say it's a big difference without Dean Henderson, but let's not forget that they did sign Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth in the summer, and Aaron Ramsdale is a very good goalkeeper. I'm not sure he's the only difference. I think Chris Wilder has been sussed out with the way he plays with the moving centre backs. Do you think that as well, given the Premier League teams time to adapt to his style of play, has also caught Sheffield United out?
I think that happens in every sport. You come in 1 year, no one knows who you are. You catch every team out. They don't know how to play you, and then the next season you go down. But I did think more of Sheffield United. I did think they would not be in the position they are, 12 points off 18th. I just thought they were better than that.
Well, I think the small crumb of comfort for them this year is they won't go down as the worst team in Premier League history. Of course, that will still go to Derby County. It is now 7 o'clock, so our games have kicked off. We're waiting for our first shout of a goal. Jack, I'm going to come back to you. Obviously, we talk a lot about the EFL. Sheffield Wednesday signed Darren Moore as their new manager recently. Hasn't really had a new manager bounce at that club. Do you think Sheffield Wednesday are looking a bit sunk?
Yeah, and they seem to have a few decent performances, but then these last minute goals they concede, like that one to Rotherham was a killer. The other game when they conceded in the 97th minute or something. But it was an interesting one with Darren Moore going there, because I think I'd read he was speculated a while before he even got confirmed, and I thought it had gone and it passed, but then it just came out the blue after one of Doncaster's games, and it's a strange one because I think surely he must look at that as there's a danger of him going down, and he's at a Doncaster side that are going decently strong in the playoffs. They're probably going to finish in the playoffs this year, and yeah, it's really interesting what he does.
Well, Doncaster did start to have a little bit of a wobble before he left. Do you think that's what kind of pushed him in the other direction?
I don't think that would have been a key factor. It obviously would have been something he was cautious of, but every team in every league has a blip every now and then.
Yeah, fair enough. Another side we're looking at down there, Wickham, still digging out wins. Obviously, they beat Preston at the weekend. Can they pull off the Great Escape?
It's very unlikely, isn't it? It was nice to see Ryan Taffer's early score for Wickham at the weekend. Obviously,
he's got the whole link in there. Every time there's a whole link.
Keep Hull's top-notch defence last season. But like you say, Wickham, it'd be very difficult if they do get out of this, but it'd be one of the greatest escapes that we've ever seen if they do manage it.
I still think there's something a little bit in the tank. The way they set up against Reading was so smart tactically, the way they shut us off. I still think they could dig out a few results yet. So keep an eye on Wickham. That will annoy the Oxford fan we've got reporting for us tonight because he wants them to go down. But we'll see. Charlton, obviously on the manager hunt. George, will come to you for this one. Who do Charlton go for at this stage? Who is available that you'd take to get you out of League One?
Well, the owner, it seems to think there's a deal already done, as he came out on Friday and said they're going for he hinted towards they're going for an external candidate. So that rules out current interim Johnny Jackson, who's currently serving them in charge until they get the replacement finalised. But they could go for Michael Bean, who's currently a Rangers coach and was also Liverpool's under-23s coach and Chelsea's under-23s coach. Have very good history. Gerrard seems to be raving about him as well, so that move would make sense. But there's another name linked, which is Michael Laudrup. I don't know if he's just linked because the Danish owner has come in charge, and obviously he has Danish, but it was his first return to the UK in management since 2014.
Obviously, Michael Laudrup did a really good job at Swansea. I've seen a few posts online about Alan Kirbishley coming back. Could you see that happening realistically?
Personally, I can't. I mean, it is rumoured, but I think they just want to go for a new candidate and have a fresh start with this new owner.
Yeah, of course, Charlton. Good to see Charlton have finally got a stable owner in. And we've had our first goal of the evening, and it's a bit of a shock. It comes down in League Two, and it's at the Johnny Rocks Stadium. It's first versus 22nd, and the goal has gone to Barrow at the bottom of the table. They're coming in to the game fresh off a win at the weekend, and they've scored again This time in the second minute, James Jones with the goal lifted themselves out of the relegation places at the weekend and winning again this evening. For now, though, we're going to go for an update to a game that's already kicked off in League One at the new Plough Lane. Luke Hammond's there for us. Wimbledon versus Wickham at the bottom of the table. Luke, how's the game looking?
Yeah, it's Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0 at the moment. It's been some really good free-flowing football. No sides are sitting back. There's some real attacking intent. I mean, Wimbledon have had the better chances. Darnell Johnson had a looping header which came from a corner, which was easily saved. Longman had a sort of close control dribble into the box, found himself a good shooting chance with his left foot, and that was easily saved as well. And Pigott had a sort of curling shot which just went past the post, which did have Jones scrambling. But Wimbledon have been on top so far. Wigan have really found it hard to really get the ball. I mean, Proctor up front has been isolated. They're trying to play long, but the team bottom of League One right now are playing really well. So it's Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0 here at Plough Lane.
Cool, brilliant. Thank you very much, Luke. Jack, we're going to come back to you then. Birmingham City, a club that won the League Cup 10 years ago in 2011. Now fighting at the bottom of the Championship, a club going backwards, shall we say, under the ownership. How do you read that? Obviously, with your experiences at Hull, can you see a similar kind of pattern of slow regression?
Yeah, well, I think the difference is the amount of stick we give our owners. It's sort of never been a massive financial issue. It's just been selling all our best players. And I think with Birmingham, it could just be down to the amount of managers they've gone through. Like ever since Gary Rowett left, I think it's just been a downhill spiral, and it's just all been going wrong since there. But definitely, ownerships are always issues for a lot of clubs in the lower leagues, Championship, even as run about. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Lee Bowyer does. Like I don't know if I'd have appointed him, but.
Do you think the EFL should be doing more to protect teams like Birmingham and Hull from almost being run into the floor?
Yeah, it's difficult to think what they can do. Obviously, I think they need to keep track on finances of clubs a lot more than they obviously are doing. Like we've seen clubs, obviously, the likes of Bury go bust, and it's not nice to see for any team, but I think they can also look at it on the other hand of checking if the just owners are in there, just it looks pointlessly. Like you could say Hull's owners they're sat there just doing out, taking the money. So yeah, it's interesting to see what they could do.
A slow start in terms of goals, but we're going to go around the grounds now. Who should we start with? Let's start with James Simmons, Derby County versus Brentford. James, how are we getting on?
Well, it's all Brentford pretty much. There's not been too much happening in terms of attacks, but Brentford are holding the possession. Derby just look like they're in a low block. Not too much to report on at the moment.
Cool, thank you very much. Still 0-0 in that game. Next, off to the Kassam Stadium. We've heard there's both chances for Oxford and Doncaster. Joe Parker.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a feisty affair so far, end to end, as I think most people predicted, with Brandon Barker picked the ball up in the middle of the park, started to drive through the Doncaster defence, but just lost control of the ball as he was about to shoot. And for Doncaster, Taylor Richard, who seems to be playing sort of within the traditional number 10 role, has had a shot which was easily saved by Oxford United goalkeeper Jack Stevens, but still 0-0, 7 minutes in. Although Cameron Brannigan's on the attack for Oxford. Oh, cut out.
Cool, brilliant. Thank you very much, Joe. Off to George Power, who's watching Walsall and Crawley.
It's been all Walsall so far. A few chances. Norman is causing Crawley serious problems on that right-hand side with his long throw-in. He's thrown it into the box a couple of times now. A lot of scrambling going on, but Walsall can't seem to keep their head in the box to find the finish they need. Still 0-0.
Cool, perfect. Thank you very much. We're going to go off to the Valley next. Sam Holmes.
Not much going on here, Luke. It's a game of hoofball, to be honest. We haven't even seen a shot. Not enjoying it so far, but I'd say Charlton are slightly on top, a bit more possession. Charlton 0, Bristol Rovers 0.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Sam. Off next, back to the Championship. A big game at the bottom at Kenilworth Road. Luton Town versus Coventry City. Any chances in the early stages, Liam?
Absolutely nothing so far, Luke. They're only 8 minutes in so far. I haven't seen one shot. Both sides struggling really to get a foothold in the game. Just had a chance there for Luton. The keeper spilled across, but couldn't be converted as they got blocked before they even could shoot. So 0-0 here after 8 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Down to League Two now, then to the Peninsula Stadium. Salford host Colchester, who are all out of sorts. How are they looking in the early stages, Angus?
Well, I wish I had something to bring to you, Luke, but it's been a tedious start. Salford with the lion's share of possession, but no chances as of yet. Both sides trying to get a foothold into the game. No moments of note to report. 0-0 here.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Jack, we'll come to you next then. Anything going on in the Peterborough game?
No, like 10 minutes in, it's just like no one's really got foothold in the game. It's been a bit of end-to-end, just like kicking it up to each other, really. I thought there would have been more football on the floor, but looking at Peterborough's pitch, it's not been the best for a while. I think only been one chance that I couldn't recall, and it came to Peterborough a few minutes ago. I think there was a hurtful ball put into the box, and Seki Dembele, obviously not the tallest player, he tried to get up there and header just went wide for a goal kick. Still 0-0.
And a golden opportunity for one of the sides at the Kassam Stadium, but which way did it go, Joe?
It went to Oxford. The Doncaster goalkeeper, Louis Jones, skewed his clearance straight to Liam Kelly about 25 yards out, but the Oxford midfielder just didn't connect with the ball, and it went straight back to Louis Jones. But it's very open at the minute, and I think there'll be a goal very soon.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Now off to a goal at Sincil Bank. Harry Smith.
Hello. Yes, Gillingham have gone 1-0 up against Lincoln at Sincil Bank. It was Verdane Oliver with a header just inside the 6-yard box. It was poor defending from Lincoln, and Gillingham are 1-0 up here after 10 minutes.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Harry, 12th goal of the season for Verdane Oliver. There's been a goal involving the game with Watford. Matas Baranauskas.
Yes, Watford just scored a beautiful header after the corner kick, but all the game, Rotherham looked pretty well, but at the end, Watford was the one with the goal. So 10 minutes in, Watford 1, Rotherham 0.
Thank you very much. Next, we're going to go off to Stadium MK. The MK Dons host Plymouth Argyle. Much going on, Bryce Denson.
Yeah, there's a good few chances for both sides. It's very entertaining first half. Plymouth had a golden opportunity with Ryan Hardy, who actually had an open net, but it was a great stop from, I can't make out his name, the MK Don centre half, Dean Lewington. But other than that, nothing else. Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
0-0.
Cool, thank you. Still 0-0 in that game. George Powell, much going on in League Two.
Crawley have started getting back into it, but most of the game's been all Walsall so far. But about coming up to the 15-minute mark, Walsall's just played a ball in, and striker's missed and it's fallen to the keeper. Still 0-0 here.
And there's been a goal in the game involving Brentford, a massive goal at the top of the table. James Simmons. There's been a goal in the game involving Brentford. It's a big goal for the top of the table. James Simmons. Never mind. We're gonna leave you in suspense. Over at Vale Park, then there's been a goal involving the game between Port Vale and Newport County. Ollie Johnson.
That's right, Luke. It was Tom Conlon on the edge of the box. It was poor defending by Newport. Nobody picked him up running in late run into the box. All he needs to do is place it into the bottom corner and beat Townsend in goal. 1-0 to Port Vale.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Ollie. Let's try James again. There's been a goal at the top of the championship table. James Simmons, are you there? No, apparently his stream's crashed. Brilliant. Nothing but professionalism.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, we're going to go off to the Cardiff City Stadium then. Much going on, James Rand.
No, mate, not much going on at all, really. Early chances for Stephen Fletcher broke into the box. Good save by Phillips in the Cardiff goal. It came back to Thompson. It's cleared on the line by Bakuna, I think it was. Before that, Stoke looking pretty rigid at the back, quite tough to break down, but not much going on. 30 minutes gone, still 0-0.
A brilliant chance at Kenilworth Road, but for which side, Liam Davis?
It fell to Coventry. And it was Max Biamu, the Coventry top scorer in 5 goals this season. Played through really by Luton's mistake, really sloppy marking. Rolled it past the keeper, but just bounced off the post. 13 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Jack, back to you at the top of League One. Either side closer to breaking the deadlock?
No, Luke, still 0-0 here, but Peterborough definitely looking to be getting into the game better than Portsmouth have, and that might be down to obviously the struggle Portsmouth have had in recent games, carrying over into this game, even with their assistant taking the helm tonight. But yeah, still 0-0.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Elsewhere, I can tell you in the game at Pride Park, Ivan Toney has scored for Brentford, his 27th of the season, as Brentford look for their 10th away win of the season. And as well in the National League at the Racecourse Ground, it's Wrexham 0, Eastleigh 1. Joseph Tomlinson with that goal. We're now going to head off again. This time, say good evening to Ali Pollock, who's at the Riverside Stadium.
Yeah, it's still 0-0 here at the Riverside Stadium. 14 minutes gone. Not even a shot for either side so far. Middlesbrough, they've left their top scorer on the bench, Duncan Watmore. He's got 6 goals this season, and probably wondering why he's not playing now with how it's been so far. 0-0, 15 minutes gone.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Now we're going to pay our first visit of the afternoon down to the National League, down at the Technique Stadium. Chesterfield are hosting top of the table Sutton United. How's it started, Hayden Baker?
It's been 15 minutes gone so far, still 0-0 here at Technique Stadium. It's been a pretty cagey affair so far. Sutton had a very good chance early on with Donovan Wilson, sent through by McGill. Forced a really good save from the goalkeeper. Chesterfield had a bit of a half chance from the edge of the box, which the keeper nearly messed up. But other than that, pretty cagey. Some nasty tackles, a few loose balls. Not too much to report from here. Still 0-0.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Most of the games still 0-0 at the minute. No goals going in elsewhere. So we're going to go back to the Kassam Stadium, a game at the top of League One. Joe Parker, much more going on?
It's still very end-to-end here. It's Doncaster's number 17, Taylor Richards, seems to be causing all sorts of issues for the Oxford defence. But Brandon Barker for Oxford is causing just as much issue for the Doncaster defence as well. Still very end-to-end with neither side really getting a grip on the game as of yet.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Joe. Still 0-0 in that game. We're going to be going to the game now at the bottom of League One between AFC Wimbledon and Wigan Athletic. We must be approaching half-time, Luke Hammond.
Yeah, just coming up to half-time here at Plough Lane. It's Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0. Massey, the right midfielder for Wigan, has actually gone down injured. He went down injured about the 40-minute mark, and after that, it's got a bit tasty, it's got a bit lively. Challenges are flying in. Wimbledon are actually, they're on the attack here. No, nothing comes of that. But Wimbledon have been on top since the 25-minute mark. They've been playing really good football. Just yet to find that final pass. But it's 45 minutes, 2 minutes added on here. It's Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. You can see I'm smiling, but if you're watching Soccer Saturday at the minute, Jeff Stelling would not be smiling because his side have just gone 1-0 down to Kingsland Town. 21st versus second there, and the side 21st on the table take the lead. So a few upsets there already. Back to George Powell. Much going on in your game.
Yeah, Madson's just missed a sitter from 4 yards out. The ball's come in from the right-hand side. He's found himself in so much space, about 4 yards out. And he's found it's harder to miss and score, and he's just put it wide of the post. But apart from that, not much is happening. Still 0-0 here.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Up in Scotland, Dundee 0, Ayr United 1. We got nobody at Scottish games this evening, though. Ollie, Port Vale are 1-0 up in your game, but Newport really need the points to be back in the promotion fight. They look like they've found a response.
Not really at all, because Port Vale have got a free kick right on the edge of Newport's box. It was a clumsy challenge by Josh Labadie. Montana was brought down. Probably it was the right decision, and now the free kick is coming in. That's a great shot. Oh, no, Townsend tips onto the bar. Great effort. But yeah, Newport are really under pressure here. Port Vale, 21st in the league. You know, Newport are in the playoff positions, you thought it was the other way around, the way it's going. And that's still 1-0.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Jack Cross, back to your game. Much going on at the Western Home Stadium.
Absolutely nothing, mate. Portsmouth had a free kick about 30 seconds ago. Didn't come with anything. They decided to do a short free kick to the player on the edge, but definitely didn't do anything. Got tackled straight away, and Peterborough went up the other end. But yeah, still 0-0.
Goal in the game at the Kassam Stadium. Joe Parker.
And it's come to the home side, Luke. It's Brandon Barker again, like I said earlier, causing absolute chaos down the wing. He's been driving at his defender. He's taking him on. He managed to get into the box, into the byline, and managed to cross the ball back to Matty Taylor, who finally ends his dry spell and manages to sneak the ball past Louis James in the Doncaster goal. It's 1-0 Oxford United.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Elsewhere then, it's half time at Plough Lane. Wimbledon 0, Wigan Athletic 0. There's a penalty at Charlton. Sam Holmes.
And they've just converted it. Bristol Rovers scored. Ayunga ran into the box. He was fouled by Shinnie and upset Luke Leahy to take the penalty. He scored his 9th goal of the season from left back. It's now Charlton 0, Bristol Rovers 1.
Time to go round the grounds in the Championship then. We're going to go to the Cardiff City Stadium again. A dry game for you before, James Ran. Has it improved at all?
It's just a really good chance, actually, mate. Before that, it's Stoker going into it, looking a lot better. Stephen Fletcher just got the ball down from a massive hoof from John Obi Mikel, like he was still playing for Chelsea. He lays it off to Nick Powell, who cuts inside, has a shot with his right foot, but he doesn't even hit the target from about 6 yards out. Still 0-0.
Someone's hit the woodwork at the Riverside Stadium, but who is it? Ali Pollock.
Yeah, Preston have hit the crossbar. It's been all Middlesbrough in terms of possession, but Liverpool loanee Sepp Vandenberg rattled one against the crossbar after 20 minutes, but 20 minutes gone, it's still 0-0 here.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Next, off to the New York Stadium. Much going on. Matas Baranauskas.
Nothing so much, but Rotherham are looking lively, and I don't know how they haven't scored. They had good opportunities, but still 1-0 to Watford, and the Rotherham striker Laudrup looks very lively today, and he might cause some problem for Watford defenders. So Rotherham 0, Watford 1, 18 minutes in.
A goal at Sincil Bank. Lincoln desperately need a result if they're to stay in the automatic promotion fight, but they're not getting one tonight, Harry Smith.
They're not. It's 2-0 to Gillingham, and it was John Akinde with a flicked-on header that fell to Graham, I believe it was, who shot from the edge of the box on a volley, and it nestled in the bottom corner. 2-0 Gillingham here at Sincil Bank.
Thank you very much. A big game at the bottom of the Championship table. Liam Davis, much going on?
Nothing major to report. Max Biamu had another chance for Coventry. He was played through by his midfielder, but missed another sitter. Probably should be 1-0 to Coventry, but still 0-0 after 21 minutes.
There's been a goal at the Riverside Stadium. Ali said they were getting close a minute ago. Which way has it gone?
Yeah, Preston have just hit the crossbar, but this time Middlesbrough have gone ahead. Nothing really happened so far up until that point in the game. But 21 minutes in, Yannick Bolasie gets the ball out wide. On loan from Everton, he crosses in, no real danger, and it comes off Jordan Story straight into his own net. It's 1-0 to Middlesbrough after 21 minutes.
And I think we finally got James Simmons back. Let's talk to him about how Brentford took the lead.
Yeah, well, nothing like a few technical difficulties, but there's no surprise who scored it for Brentford. It's Ivan Toney once again, converted it from the penalty spot, and Bemu was brought down inside the box, and there was no doubt when he stepped up, just whacked it into the right-hand side of the goal. It's 1-0 Brentford.
He whacked it. Those technical issues are why we've got you out on the road and not in the studio, James. Thank you very much. We're going to dive down to League One now then. We're going to go Sam Holmes. Bristol Rovers took the lead, but Charlton need the result more. They look like they're going to respond.
Well, it doesn't look like at the moment. Bristol Rovers have got loads of confidence from their goal. They've controlled the game. Charlton have hoofed the ball up a few times themselves. They had a penalty shout. Connor Washington was pushed to the floor, but he went down far too easily. But Bristol Rovers are looking good so far. If they can carry on, they'll add a much-needed 3 points. So Charlton 0, Bristol Rovers 1.
Elsewhere in League One, then there's been a goal at Stadium MK, Bryce.
Yeah, 1-0 to the hosts. An excellent ball in from Matthew Sorinola. And that man again, Cameron Jerome, added to his brace last week and scored his 13th goal of the season. So 1-0 to the hosts. 24 minutes played.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. James Simmons has seen a goal this time at Brentford.
Back so soon. Well, it's the first time Derby had really got up into Brentford's half, and then Raya collected the ball, hit a longer ball along the ground, straight up to the halfway line, and then Brentford just beautifully played it. Canos on the left side, cut in, outside the box, curled it into the bottom left corner.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, James. There was another goal in the Championship, but it's been chalked off, Ali Pollock.
Yeah, it was almost a perfect response from Preston. They went up behind, they've gone straight back up the other end, got a corner. It's been whipped in, and Scott Sinclair's there at the back post to tap into an empty net, but he's offside. So unfortunately, after 23 minutes, it's still 1-0 to Middlesbrough.
Scott Sinclair, of course, Preston's top scorer for the season so far. There's also been a goal at Kenilworth Road. Liam Davis.
Yeah, Luton have taken a lead here, and it's James Bree with his first ever goal in professional football after 163 appearances. It was across from, I believe it was Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, and James Bree converted from close range. Keeper probably will feel a bit disappointed with that, as he probably could have kept it out. But Luton have taken a lead here, 1-0 after 24 minutes.
Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank's good run as Burton manager continues. Hayden Carter's just put his side 1-0 up at Bloomfield Road in another goal in League One. Let's jump down to League Two. Let's go to Vale Park. Ollie Johnson, much of a response from Newport yet?
Yeah, they've had a couple of half-decent chances. It's Josh Labadie again. He's creating a lot. Beautiful ball into the middle of the box. There was nobody there on the end of it. It was a perfect opportunity wasted. Recently capped Welsh international Josh Sheehan has been absolutely outstanding for Newport in the past 5 minutes. All the ball has gone his way, and he's causing a lot of danger to Port Vale's defence. Still 1-0 Port Vale, though.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Elsewhere in League Two, Salford, are they looking threatening against Colchester, Angus?
Well, I'm afraid to say, Luke, that there's nothing to report here. Both sides have threatened meekly through set-piece chances, but aside from that, nothing's going on. No side hit the target. Scrappy football. It's 0-0 here at Peninsula Stadium.
Scrappy football. Any danger of there being anything like that in the National League, Hayden Baker?
More than enough of that so far today, Luke. It's already had a bit of a victim of the scruffy football we've had so far tonight. Fraser Kerr having to be brought off from the 21st minute, the Chesterfield centre-back for Alex Whittle, after a bit of a feisty coming together outside the edge of the box. Apart from that, though, nothing to report on here. No real chances for either side, just a lot of crunching challenges. Still 0-0.
There's a blow for Stoke at the Cardiff City Stadium. Luckily for them, though, it's not a goal. What's going on, James Rand?
Yes, Stephen Fletcher. Balling for again from John Obi Mikel. Fletcher's tried to knock it down. I think it's to Nick Powell's in the box, but he's took a clap bash to the head from Sean Morrison. He's down on the floor, holding his neck. Looks like Sam Vokes is about to come on. 26 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Brilliant, thank you very much. That'll be a tough game from Stoke from here on in. Liam Davies, there was a goal in your game. Is there much of a response from the opposition?
Absolutely nothing so far. It's all Luton at the moment. Dominating possession, dominating the shots. Coventry really struggling to get a foothold in this game still. Apart from their early chances, Luton are dominating still. 1-0 after 27 minutes.
Currently on the half-time break at Plough Lane between Wimbledon and Wigan. It was goalless. Luke Hammond, can you see anyone breaking the deadlock in the second half?
If they do break it, it's going to be Wimbledon. Wigan had a great start. They burst into life. Massey, the right mid, has been really good. He's been driving it. The left back, Guinness Walker, he's playing some good balls in the box, but there's really no one in the box to put the ball home. Wigan then tried to play the ball back to their midfielders in Evans and Ojo, and it really hasn't been doing very well. I mean, the ball comes back to them, and they've had a few shots and they're going well over the bar. But from then on, Wimbledon have been playing really well. The two men who came in, Longman and Palmer, have been really, really good. They've been interlinking with the captain, Riley, who's playing sort of the central attacking midfield role, and Piggott's dropping in to play the ball around with Longman, Riley and Palmer. So they've got some good triangles going on there. But as I said before in my previous update, Proctor's really isolated up top. Wotton's come in, I believe, to try and support him. He's trying to be the runner past Proctor when the ball's played in the air, but they've really had nothing of that going on. And Massey obviously got injured on the 14-minute mark, and then from then on it was a feisty game. But in the second half, I really do see Wimbledon taking the lead or going, or maybe even 2 goals up, which is a surprise, seeing as they're bottom of the table. So it is still obviously 0, Wigan 0, Wimbledon 0.
Well, we'll see if you're right, but we're going to head back to the top of the championship because there's been an important goal. Matas Baranowskis.
Yes, Watford with another goal. This time it was Ismail Sarr. Zinkerlega put a nice cross in, but the shot was saved by the keeper. And then Ismail Sarr just put ball at the roof of the net, and 2-0. The keeper had no chance to save that. Watford 2, Rotherham 0, 27 minutes in.
Last time we were at the Kassam Stadium, the hosts had taken the lead. Will there be much of a response from Doncaster, Joe Parker?
It doesn't look like there has been so far, Luke. Doncaster are persisting on playing out from the back and using their centre-backs as ball players, and it's really their downfall so far, with Oxford pressing really high up and creating constant chances from the Doncaster defence, not being allowed to play out from the back. Doncaster have just had a shot go narrowly wide, but still all Oxford here after 30 minutes, 1-0.
Thank you very much. Down to League Two. Much going on for you, George Power?
Not much. It's been a very scrappy game of football so far. About 5 minutes ago, there's been a substitution because the striker Niku has gone off injured with an ankle injury, and James Tilley has come on to replace him after scoring the weekend winner for Crawley.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Still 0-0 in that game. Up to League One then. We're going to go to Sincil Bank. Lincoln desperately need a result, but it's not going their way. They're 2-0 down. Has there been much of a response, Harry Smith?
If anything, it's been more good work from Gillingham. They just had a really good chance after Akinde held the ball up extremely well. And then he pulled the ball back for Graham, whose shot was saved really smartly. And then it fell back again to, I think it was McDonald, whose shot was then blasted over the bar. But the game's been really physical and it's all being played in Gillingham's favour at the moment.
Thank you very much. Still 2-0 to Gillingham in that game. And there's been a goal at London Road. Jack Cross.
Yeah, I mean, you'd absolutely love this goal. In-swing corner from... Oh, he's gone to Peterborough, by the way, 1-0. In-swinging corner come from Harrison Burrows that's come in, one of the 2 changes for today's game. And it's missed everybody. It's gone onto the goal line. The keeper's palmed it out, and it's hit Nick Arliasson on the back of the head and bounced straight back into his own net. 1-0 Peterborough.
Yes, Peterborough came into this game off the back of back-to-back defeats. The 3rd time they've done that this season, but each time they've done it, they've bounced back with a win, and they're starting to do the same there. Elsewhere in League One, we went to Stadium MK a minute ago. Bryce, is there much more of a development?
MK Dons are really bossing the game right now. They've had about 7% of the ball, and Plymouth just don't really know what to do. Scott Fraser in number 10 just buzzing around Cameron Jerome, and they're linking up really well. And yeah, they look comfortable. 32 minutes gone. 1-0.
Thank you very much. At the Riverside, Preston had a goal chalked off. Have they come any closer, Ali Pollock?
No, they haven't. Not a lot to report since the disallowed goal. It's been, I'd like to say end-to-end, but with no real quality in the final third. It's been up and down the pitch, exchanging possession. It's still 1-0 to Middlesbrough at 33 minutes gone.
Thank you very much. Well, it's a slow half then, Charlie. Let's talk to you quickly. Championship, the relegation fight is hotting up. Obviously, Wickham are cut adrift a bit at the minute, but who are the 3 teams for you that you think will go down?
I actually think it's going to stay as it is. Wickham, Sheffield Wednesday and Rotherham. I think Rotherham do have 3 games in hand, or 4 games in hand, actually, sorry, on Birmingham. But I have a little bit more faith in Birmingham than I do Rotherham.
Which team is that, Charlie?
Oh, but sorry, I'm lagging a little bit. Birmingham, I have a little bit more faith in Birmingham than I do Rotherham.
Sorry, what is it? Rotherham what?
Rotherham, I can't. Okay. Thank you for pointing out that I can't pronounce the Rotherham properly.
Okay, Jack, we heard from you a minute ago. There was a goal for Peterborough. Are Portsmouth pushing back at all?
No, it's been on Peterborough since then. Just before the goal, actually, I was gonna if you're gonna come to me, I was gonna say Portsmouth are looking the more likely team to get a goal, but before even those two chances, it's literally just been a game of hoofball. I think I've not seen the ball in the air as much in a game until that goal, but yeah, it's looking just all Peterborough at the minute, still 1-0.
Oh, the highlights of League One football. Liam Davies has got a big game at the bottom of the championship table. We've had a goal already. Have we got any closer to a second?
Absolutely nothing since that goal. I think there's been about one shot for Luton. Coventry yet to get a foothold in this game. Not really threatening since their early chances. There's a reason why they're the 7th lowest scoring team in the division, and it's evident in this game. Absolutely nothing going forward. If anyone's going to get the next goal, it's probably going to be Luton. 34 minutes gone, still 1-0 to Luton Town.
Thank you very much. Derby County are already 2-0 down at Pride Park. Is there any chance of a fight back, James Simmons?
I mean, it's been Derby's best spell of possession, but the closest they've come is a deflected shot from outside the box and 2 poorly placed corners. It's really looking like Brentford are just going to take this one home, and Derby just look toothless in attack.
Fair enough, thank you. Still 2-0 there. We're going to go to James Rand at the Cardiff City Stadium. Stoke have already had to make a change. Have they made a change about the scoreline yet?
No, mate. And to be honest, I think Cardiff have looked better since that substitution. It's Cardiff are playing 3 up front. So they've got Bakuna and Ojo on the wing, more in the middle, but they've not really been able to get Kiefer Moore on the ball. We know he's brilliant in the air. The 2 wingers have got the pace to beat the back 3 of Stoke, but they've not really given him anything yet. So he's not really had any chances to put the ball in the back of net. 35 minutes gone, still 0-0.
Well, there's been no goal there, but there has been a goal at the Valley. Sam Holmes.
Luke, there's actually been 2 goals at the Valley. Bristol Rovers were dominating Charlton and they were rewarded for their efforts. A long shot from Ed Upson was deflected. It wrong-footed Ben Amos in goal. That gave them a 2-0 lead. And then 1 minute later, a long shot from Shinnie for Charlton pulled one back. He beat the keeper easily. It was a great long shot. And it was against a run of play, to be honest. Bristol Rovers have been brilliant. I think Charlton have been affected by Lee Bowyer not being with them. But yeah, Charlton 1, Bristol Rovers 2.
Up to the Championship, not only have Preston had a goal ruled out, but are now down to 10 men, Ali Pollock.
Yeah, it's the captain, Alan Brown. He's been sent off. Not sure what happened. We don't have the replays here, but he's gone up for an aerial altercation with Paddy McNair. It looks like he might have either caught him with an elbow or when they've come back down, they've had a little altercation and the referee's shown him a straight red card. He's been sent off. He's had to pass the captaincy on someone else, and it's 1-0 Middlesbrough after 36 minutes.
Captain, not so fantastic there. There's been a goal at the Technique Stadium in the National League. Hayden Baker.
Yes, it's a goal for Sutton United. You wouldn't have seen it coming. A long ball down the right-hand flank found... who did get the goal? Sorry. It was Tom Whelan running... Sorry, I've lost my notes here. Donovan Wilson ran through, cutting in from the right-hand side. Beautiful finish in the bottom corner. Goal came out of nowhere, really. Chesterfield had the better of the 2 sides, but it is Sutton United 1, Chesterfield 0.
Sutton United have already won 7 times on the road this season, on their way to making it an 8th. Jack, you've got the game at the top of League One. Are we any closer to a second goal?
As you came to me then, Portsmouth had a free kick on the edge of the box, straight into the keeper's hands. Nothing really came of that, but no, since you last came to me, it's still just been mainly Peterborough. Portsmouth had the odd attack, but like I said before, it's been mainly hoofball from both sides, to be honest, but still 1-0, 5 minutes to go.
We're underway in the second half at Plough Lane. Luke Hammond, has either team started brightly?
Yeah, sorry, Wigan have started brightly. It's actually Massey, the man who went down injured on the 40-minute mark in the first half, who's really driving at the Wimbledon left back. They've got free kick just outside the box here, and they're looking to put it into their big, tall defenders in Johnson and Tilt, who've scored some good goals from set pieces this season. So it's Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0 at Plough Lane.
At the New York Stadium then, Rotherham United are 2-0 down. Are they any closer to halving the gap, Matas?
Not really. Watford had few chances in, but Ismail Issa was caught offside and he still missed the open goal. But since the first few minutes when Rotherham looked lively, it's been all Watford, to be fair, and I don't see them coming back in this game. So it's 36 minutes in, Rotherham 0, Watford 2. Yeah, sorry.
Well, one of our few games we're covering that's 0-0 is at the Peninsula Stadium. Are you any closer to a goal, Angus?
Thanks, Luke. I'm afraid to say there's still nothing to report. Colchester have just started to get a foothold into the game, but Salford's still dominating possession. As I say, this Colchester approaching and looking for a shot on target, but they are tackled successfully, and it's midfield possession yet again. It's 0-0 here at the Peninsula. Thank you very much.
Well, the other game that's 0-0 for us in League Two is being watched by George Power, Crawley and Walsall.
Well, we finally had our first shot on target for the game, Luke. The ball was crossed into Nadesan and he put a header in, forcing Roberts to make a big save from the top right. But Crawley have currently got a free kick about 35 yards out. It looks like they're going to cross it in, but still 0-0 here.
At Vale Park, then, the 21st side in the division, Port Vale, lead promotion chasers Newport County. Ollie, are Newport any closer to getting back into it?
Not at all, really. They've had a bit of a diving chance. Bennett went down. There wasn't much in it at all, but Port Vale have certainly controlled the game. Conlon's been absolutely brilliant for Port Vale. He's certainly tearing the Newport defence apart. Devontae Rodney, their top scorer, he's causing a lot of problems. I imagine the way it's going, Port Vale will hold on. 5 minutes to half-time, still 1-0.
I'm going to go all the way back up to the Championship then at Pride Park. Brentford are already 2-0 up. Are they any closer to a third, James Simmons?
Well, Ivan Toney just missed an absolute sitter from 5 yards out. It was beautifully curled in by Mbemba, and Ivan Toney, he's tucked them away time and time again, but for whatever reason this time he scuffs it wide. Still Derby 0, Brentford 2 after 40 minutes.
Well, he stuck them away 27 times this season, but not quite yet a 28th goal. Another serial scorer is Johnson Clark Harris at Peterborough United. Jack, is he any closer to scoring?
No, I can't really tell you when he's touched the ball that much in this game, to be honest, but I can tell you a bit of action that had just happened when Seki Dembele's just been absolutely clotheslined by Jack Watmore as he's tried to run round him on the far side of the pitch. But so yeah, that free kick's just coming up now, but it's still 1-0 to Peterborough.
Well, there's been another goal elsewhere in a promotion battling game in League One at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford were 1-0 up, but there's been a second goal. Which way has it gone, Joe Parker?
It's gone to the home side. It's Matty Taylor again. Oxford are currently 2-0 up, but Olamide Shadipo was running riot on the wing. He won a dangerous free kick, and Liam Kelly whipped it into the back post, where Josh Ruffles was there to nod it back across goal, and Matty Taylor does what Matty Taylor does and finishes from about 3 yards. 2-0 Oxford United, 40 minutes in.
Brilliant, thank you very much. I asked Mattas a couple of moments ago whether Rotherham were closer to halving the gap at the New York Stadium. There's been a goal, Mattas.
Yes, it's 3-0 to Watford. It was corner cleared poorly and just balls dropped to Sam at the edge of the box, and he just hits the half volley and goes in the bottom right corner. Watford 3, Rotherham 0.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Coventry would have headed to the Kenilworth Road this evening thinking they had a chance of winning the game, but their afternoon's just got a whole lot tougher, Liam Davis.
Yeah, it has indeed, Luke. It's 2-0 to Luton. It's Elijah Adebayo with the penalty. And just to add on to Coventry's problems tonight, they've got a red card for Carl McFadden, handballed on the line after Adebayo beat the keeper in the air and outmuscled him. Clear red card, no complaints from the Luton side or McFadden himself. That's actually the 7th penalty they've given away this season, Coventry, so not ideal for them at all. The game's almost done and dusted after 42 minutes. Luton Town 2, Coventry City 0.
Thank you very much. At the Walk Stadium, it's Kingsland Town 1, Hartlepool United 1. Luke Armstrong nets in the 37th minute there. We're going to go round the grounds. One of the few games that's 0-0 in the Championship is between Cardiff and Stoke City. James Rand, is there much going on?
No, not really. I wasn't really expecting anything really from this game, mate. Obviously, both these sides got physical players up front and not really known for their free-flowing football. And it's turned out to be that way. Not much going on, not many chances, few crosses in the ball. Both number 9s have had barely any chances. Nearly half time and it's still 0-0.
We're in the second half at Plough Lane. I asked a few moments ago whether anyone started brightly, Luke Hammond. Even still, 7 minutes in, have they started brightly?
Yeah, 53 minutes gone here at Plough Lane. It's still Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0. From that free kick I mentioned before in a previous update, was a brilliant whipped-in ball by Wootton, who's actually come into the side for today's game, and it was really well saved by Wimbledon keeper Dzanev. But since then, Wigan really haven't conjured up anything. Wimbledon are playing the ball around much better. They've just got attack here, just a shot on. No, just saved. Nothing come from that, sorry. But yeah, Wimbledon are playing as well as they were in the second half of the first. But it's 0-0 here, Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0.
Well, Charlton were having a tough first half. Not only had they lost their manager, they'd also given 2 goals away. But they're back in the game at the Valley, Sam Holmes.
Yeah, they've just pulled level. They've completed the comeback already. They've been excellent since pulling that goal back originally. And they had Stockley fouled on the edge of the box by Jack Baldwin. It was pretty soft, but the referee probably made the right decision. And what a free kick by Forster-Caskey. Lifts it over the wall and past Day to make it 2-2.
Elsewhere in League One, there's been a goal at the Kassam, Joe Parker.
And it's gone to the home side again. Oxford United are now 3-0 up. And like I mentioned earlier, Doncaster trying to play themselves out of defence. And it's been their downfall again here, with it being on the edge of the box. It's a bit scrappy. Brandon Barker's managed to win the ball back. He's laid in Olamide Shadipo, who's about 12 yards out on the angle, and he's slotted home into the bottom corner. 3-0 Oxford.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Almost a chance at the Peninsula Stadium, Angus Sinclair.
Thank you, Luke. Well, there's still no shots on target, but James Wilson very, very nearly scored an absolute wonder goal from the left-hand side of the box. A thunderous effort that missed just by mere inches. Salford with persistent pressure right now, pushing for that goal before half-time. 0-0 here.
Early moments in the first half at the Vitality Stadium. Much going on, Charlie Parker.
Bournemouth have an early free kick in the 52nd in a dangerous position on the right-hand side. But the most interesting part was at the start of the game, Swansea players kneeled and the Bournemouth players did not. They stood up. 1 minute in, still 0-0.
Half-time's going on there. We're now going to head to Ryan Honey, who will have the team news in for Manchester City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. Or maybe he won't. Where is he? There he is.
Hello, I am here. Unfortunately, couldn't get into the Puskas Arena, so here I am from just outside.
In your gaming chair.
Team news, Pep Guardiola has made 5 changes from the weekend. Laporte, Mendy, Ferran Torres, Gabriel Jesus make way for Kyle Walker, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Foden, and Riyad Mahrez. Obviously, West rested at the weekend. De Bruyne, Foden, and Gundogan. They're going to come in revitalised, and Pep Guardiola will feel as though those changes will prove vital as he looks to guide them to their 4th consecutive quarter-final.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. There's been another goal at the Walk Stadium. Kings in Town 2, Hartlepool United 1. Michael Gayassi with the goal there. Back to the Champions League in the other game. It's Real Madrid versus Atalanta, just 1-0. Just a 1-0 scoreline separating the sides. Team news from Mickey Dressati.
Yeah, thank you, Luke. Starting with the hosts, in goal, Thibaut Courtois. In front of him will be Nacho Fernandez, Varane, Ramos, and potentially Lucas Vazquez. And on the left side will be Ferland Mendy. In front of them in midfield, Valverde, Cruz, Modric, and then you have Vinicius Jr. and Benzema as the strikers. For Atalanta, Marcos Portiello in goal. In front of him, Toloi, Romero, and Gimisti. In midfield with the wingbacks, Male, De Roon, Pessina, and Gosens. And in front of them, the 3, Malinowski, Pasalic, and Muriel. I said potentially because with Real Madrid playing against a team that plays with 3 at the back, it'll be interesting to see whether they play with 3 or 4 in the end.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Mickey. We'll come to you in a few moments' time for an update once we've kicked off at 8 p.m. there. There was a big chance. It's 0-0 at the Cardiff City Stadium, but a big chance for James Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's been the best chance of the game, mate. It's a free kick on the right-hand side for Leandro Bacuna. He whips it in into the area where you'd expect Keeper Moore to be. instead is Captain Sean Morrison. All he's got to do is stick a leg out and poke it into the net. He got onto it in front of the keeper. He should really put it inside netting. He misses it completely, bounces off Flint, off his face, and out for a goal kick. Still 0-0, and it's just gone half time.
Perfect. Thank you very much. You'll see it on this show that we like to keep the intelligent people that know what are going on in the studio with us, well, and George Power. And in the game at Plough Lane, Luke Hammond said he expected FC Wimbledon to break the deadlock. Well, you can imagine what's happened because we sent him out on the road there.
Yes, I'm just outside as well. And it's Wigan 1, Wimbledon 0 here at Plough Lane. There was a brilliant ball from the right back into Proctor in the box. It was brilliant control. He plays it into Gardner, great composure, turns onto his right foot, drills it into the bottom left-hand corner. 1-0 Wigan here at Plough Lane.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We're going to go to Sam Holmes, half-time at the Valley.
Well, after the first 15 minutes that I watched here at the Valley, if someone had told me there'd be 4 goals, I wouldn't have believed them. It's been such a great game after that. Bristol Rovers scored the first 2, one from a penalty spot from Luke Leahy and a long shot from Ed Upson. 1 minute later, Charlton pulled one back and they've equalised just before half-time. It could go either way in the second half. Joey Barton will be furious that they've given the 2-goal leader away, but Charlton 2, Bristol Rovers 2.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Slowly getting the half-time notifications through on my phone. Are you still playing at Vale Park, Ollie Johnson?
Yeah, just finished now, mate. To be honest, Newport, since I last spoke to you, have had the lion's share of possession. Scott Brown hasn't been tested, but they're certainly going forward a lot more, and it's looking a bit more like what we've seen Newport do this season. However, they have got Kevin Ellison on the bench. I'm hoping to see him later on in the game. Hopefully get another winning goal.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. We've just kicked off at the Vitality Stadium. We've already been to Charlie Parker once, but we're going back to him again.
Dominic Sankey's just had a chance from another Bournemouth corner, but it's blocked by 3 different Swansea defenders and cleared instantly. And then Jack Wilshere has won a free kick after being hit on the head on the halfway line. It's still 0-0, 6 minutes gone.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We're 9 minutes to kick off in the Champions League. Here are your half-time scores. Cardiff City 0, Stoke City 0 at the Cardiff City Stadium. We're going to go to James Simmons. Derby County 0, Brentford 2. Derby being outclassed, really, haven't they?
Yeah, they've offered nothing. I'm just looking at the stats now. Brentford had 7 shots. Derby have had 1 and none on target. Brentford controlling the game, 65% possession. Derby just look like they're offering nothing. They're not able to string more than 5 passes together, really, without Brentford pressing them into a mistake and getting the ball and just attacking, really.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Half-time 2-0 there. It's also 2-0 at Kenilworth Road between Luton Town and Coventry City. At the Riverside, it's Middlesbrough 1, Preston 0. Last time we went to Ali Pollock, Preston had just had a man sent off. How have they been since?
Yeah, you can really tell they're down to 10 men now. They've barely seen the ball. They had a corner right on the stroke of half-time. Jordan Story had the chance to make amends for his own goal, but headed over, and the half-time whistle went just after that. Just a bit more on the red card. Alan Brown has got into an altercation with Sam Morsey and just stupidly kicked out at him. Although looking back at it, it looks like Morsey should have also gone as well for just a little kick out at Alan Brown previously.
Oh dear, Preston never won at the Riverside Stadium. It looks like that run could continue. Next off to the New York Stadium, half-time there. It's Rotherham United 0, Watford 3. Matas Baranuskas, are Watford comfortable?
Watford should be comfortable, but Rotherham playing well since they conceded the third one. They had a few chances, but nothing very too serious. And Watford, they should win easily this game because Rotherham lose. They don't have a few key players, and of course they don't have their manager right now on the sideline. So, and looking at the stats, yeah, Watford, it's judging by the stats, it's even game, but watching the game, Watford is comfortable winning this game.
Of course, Rotherham lost 5 of their last 6. It looks like they are going to continue that run despite winning in their last game. It's 0-0 at the Vitality between Bournemouth and Swansea. We'll be back to Charlie Parker for more on that in a minute. Let's go back to Plough Lane. Luke Hammond, is there much going on?
Yeah, 2 big chances for the Wimbledon striker, Piggott. First, the ball was floated over to him, back post. He chests it down and drills it with his left foot about 2 yards from goal, and the shot was really well blocked. And then from the subsequent goal, and the ball comes in, Piggott makes a darting run to the front post, tries to flick it on, and that just goes just past the post. Wimbledon have bounced back really well here and look as if they may get the next goal. It's 0-0 here. Wimbledon 0, Wigan 0.
No doubt Wigan will go 2-0 up in a minute. There's been a goal at the Vitality Stadium. Charlie Parker.
It's a cracker from Philip Billen. It's an overhead kick from across from Arnaud Danjuma. It's a brilliant goal. It's been all Bournemouth to start off this game. Swansea haven't had a lick. They haven't had a shot on target. Bournemouth come down the left. Danjuma whips it in. And Billen with the overhead kick. 1-0, 9 minutes gone.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. All the teams at the top in the Championship winning, all the teams at the bottom losing at the minute. And a few bits going on in the mid-table. In League One, then, it's Blackpool 0, Burton Albion 1, Charlton 2, Bristol Rovers 2. Charlton were 2-0 down, but have already got back level. At Central Bank, it's Lincoln 0, Gillingham 2, possibly the upset so far. Do Lincoln look like they're going to get back into it, Harry?
I think the best way to describe this game so far has been the perfect away performance from Gillingham. Lincoln have had 67% possession, but are yet to register a shot on target. So that kind of says everything about how the game's gone so far. But so far, Gillingham looking pretty comfortable. 2-0 here.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Plymouth Argyle are currently on their worst run since losing 6 in November and December, but they're currently losing 1-0 to MK Dons at Stadium MK. They look like they can turn it round at all, Bryce.
At the moment, MK Don's been on top in the first half. And I don't think Ryan will be happy with his side. Luke Jeffcott has been really quiet. And Cameron Drone has definitely looked the more threatening of the two strikers. And I'm sure Ryan will make changes in the second half. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, still 45 minutes to play. 1-0 at half time.
After the Kassam next, and Oxford United are firmly in control against Doncaster Rovers, who seem to be slipping a bit since they lost manager Darren Moore. Would that be true, Joe Parker?
Yeah, I don't know. They just don't seem to be well, they're not in control of the game at all. They're trying to play out from the back, and it's really not helping them. With Oxford's high press, it's playing right into Oxford's hands. And to be honest, I think Oxford United will be looking to go for the kill in the second half and concede themselves getting a few more goals if it stays like this. But at the same time, they do need to be wary because it only takes a couple of chances for Doncaster to get back into this game. So hopefully Oxford will think that there'll be more goals for this, but they also need to be wary of what could come in the second half.
Perfect. 3-0 there. The other game at the top of League One is at London Road. Nicolaisen own goal is currently the difference between Peterborough United and Portsmouth Jack Cross. Do Portsmouth look like they could get back into this?
It was just a mad 30 seconds for the goal. And that's literally been the only chance of the game, really. Both teams one shot on target. It's been Peterborough just keeping all the ball, and then when Portsmouth do get it, it's just been a big hoof up front, and there's no one there to get it because I think it looks like Ronan Curtis and Ryan Williams are just playing up there on their own, and they haven't been looking the sort of players that are going to get up for aerial ball, so it's not really working out for Joe Gallen at this moment in time. But yeah, still half time, the only chance, and it comes from the goal, and that was an own goal. So it'll be interesting to see if both teams step it up in the second half. Won't be far away now.
Thank you very much. The late kickoff in League One at 7:45 was between Fleetwood and Ipswich. Fleetwood already 1-0 up. They sold all-time leading EFL goal scorer Paddy Madden last night, but it's all right because Connolly scored in the 9th minute there to put them 1-0 up. In League Two, it's Cheltenham Town 0, Barrow 1, a big upset coming there. George Power's got a boring game, 0-0 between Crawley Town and Walsall. George, does it look like it may change in the second half?
Based off the first half, not at all. One of the worst first halves of football I've seen in a long time, with only one real clear-cut chance, and Roberts turning that over the bar. There hasn't been a lot here to report on at all.
Well, the worst football first halves I've seen, that's it. That's the way to keep them tuned in, George. Elsewhere then, Port Vale 1, Newport County 0, Salford 0, Colchester 0, Scunthorpe 0, Oldham 0, and Mansfield 0, Carlisle 0. But that game is only in the 25th minute. Down to the National League then, leaders Sutton United are out in front at the Technique Stadium. Hayden, do Chesterfield look like they could get back into it?
I think they've got every chance of getting back into this one. I think they've sort of come out Sutton a lot more as the second half drew to a close. They had 5 minutes of stoppage time, although they did squander that. They had a half chance from a free kick that sailed over the bar. But given how strong their home form's been under James Rowe, they've won 7 of their last 7 home games under him since his appointment. They've got every chance of winning here. Yeah, I think it's still all to play for, but 1-0 at half-time.
Thank you very much. Elsewhere in the National League, it's Halifax 0, Aldershot 0, Kingsland 2, Hartlepool 1, Stockport County 1, Barnet 0, Wrexham 1, Eastleigh 1, Borehamwood 1, Notts County 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0, Weymouth 0, Maidenhead United 1, Torquay 0, only in the 6th minute in that game, Woking 0, Altrincham 0, and at Hewish Park, it's currently Yeovil 0, Bromley 0. Harry Clark, do we look like we could have a goal at all? He's not there. Brilliant. Okay. We'll go back to Charlie then. Many chances in the Bournemouth game. Charlie, your sound's gone.
Is it back now?
There we go.
Junior Stanislav and Alamout Danjuma have both tried to hit one from 30 yards out, but they've both gone wide over, nearly over the stadium. But other than that, Swansea now have the ball in Bournemouth's half, but that's the only chances they've had. Still 1-0.
Still 1-0. Okay, we kicked off in the game between Real Madrid and Atalanta. How's it looking, Mickey Drosati?
Yeah, as expected, Luke, Real Madrid will be playing with 3 defenders in the back. They do have very, very quick and dangerous wing backs in Lucas Vazquez and Ferland Mendy, the only scorer of the first leg. Yeah, it'll be a very interesting night.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Over to the Puskas Arena then, or Ryan Honey's desk. How have they started there?
Well, after 40-odd seconds, it's clear that Pep will set his team up pretty similarly to how he set it up almost 3 weeks ago. I mean, it looks as though João Cancelo will slip into that midfield position from left back, which is the Pep Guardiola way. And it's going to be interesting because obviously Mönchengladbach need to attack from the get-go and get themselves back in the game. Minute played, as you'd expect, 0-0.
Perfect, thank you very much. Over an hour gone at Plough Lane. Luke Hammond, are Wimbledon looking any closer to getting back into this?
Yeah, 70 minutes gone here at Plough Lane. Wimbledon have been a much better side. Longman down the right-hand side has been really good, making runs in behind. He's put some really dangerous balls into the box, but Piggott just isn't there to tap it in. Wigan have really not offered anything, but I said that last time, they'll probably go down the other end and score. But obviously, it does look like Wimbledon are going to get the next goal here, but we'll see what happens. Wimbledon 0, Wigan 1.
Perfect, thank you very much. We're just a few moments away from the rest of the EFL game starting their second half. For the time being, though, we're going to go to Jack Cross. Jack, I've got a question for you. Obviously, I'm going to be slightly biased in this, but do you think that Norwich could break Reading's 106-point record this season?
It's a big ask to get up to those points, because when Wolves went up a few years ago, they walked the league and they only just got. Did they even reach 100 points? I think it was 99. But yeah, they're looking a lot better, this Norwich side this year, going up compared to 2 years ago, conceding a lot less goals and getting the victories in. And if they carry on as they are, I can't see why not. They're breaking records in the Championship.
Does it show the current golfing quality, though, between the Championship and the Premier League, that Norwich were battered week in, week out last season and have walked the Championship this season?
Yeah, but you can also look at teams that go up, like Wolves and Leeds, for 2 examples of teams that have gone back into the Premier League that have sort of kicked on. We'll interested to see how Leeds do next year, but like Wolves have fairly kicked on. They had 2 7th-place finishes in 2 seasons after promotion, and not a lot of promoted teams would get up that high. But yeah, it's definitely down to your manager as well, I think. But Norwich are a team that have had to be careful with their finances, but they were lucky to only lose the likes of Jamal Lewis in the summer, and they've kept the majority of the team from last year and added other Championship quality to it at the same time. So yeah, it's definitely a big goal still there.
Go on then. Yes or no, will Norwich break the record?
Yeah, I think they will.
Can't believe you said that. Right, you're not in the studio next week. Right, we've kicked off in the second half at the Peninsula Stadium. It's currently Salford 0, Colchester 0. Does it look like that's going to change any time soon, Angus?
Yes, Luke. Well, Colchester got us underway just over 2 minutes ago. They're showing early signs of trying to kick on, get that early goal. But Salford, as I speak, have just regained possession and they're passing around the back. Looking slightly slow again, but we'll see. Hopefully better than the first half. It's 0-0 here.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Next, off to George Power at the People's Pension Stadium, who's watching Crawley Town versus Walsall.
It's been a better start to the second half. Crawley have gone out with throwing more attacking after John Yen sent his team out a bit early from half time to do some laps of the field. But Walsall have just hit the bar moments ago with a bicycle kick, just narrowly hitting the bar, but nothing else to report. Still 0-0 here.
After Sincil Bank, then Lincoln haven't beaten Gillingham at home since 2008. They're currently behind. Harry, how have they started the second half?
It's been a lot better from Lincoln in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. They've just got a free kick on just by the corner flag on the left-hand side, and they've really been pushing Gillingham high up the pitch and causing them quite a few issues. But at the moment, it is still 2-0 to Gillingham, so no changes here.
Thank you very much. Portsmouth have won 9 times on the road already this season. They're currently behind at Peterborough. Jack, you've kicked off the second half. Are they any closer to bridging that gap?
No, well, neither team's really got into it this second half yet, but they're sort of looking like they're having a bit more of the ball and pressing a bit higher up, which is good to see for them. But yeah, still 1-0.
Thank you very much. We've kicked off at Pride Park. Brentford were in control against Derby. Have we seen anything different in the second half from Derby, James?
Well, Wayne Rooney's clearly not happy. He made a triple change at half-time. It looks like they've switched to a back three now, trying to go more attacking, but almost instantly they gave the ball away after kick-off, so doesn't look like they've improved too much at the moment.
Thank you very much. We're about 5 minutes in the Champions League games. Let's go to Ryan Honey, Manchester City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach.
As you would expect, Manchester City have had a lot of the ball early on, creating nothing to note. But Mönchengladbach really deep already, and it's only a matter of time before City have their first chance in Foden. Oh, it's a great save from Sommer. It was just a lofted ball over the top, and Foden almost swung a boot at it and found the bottom corner. But it's a massive chance inside 7 minutes. Sommer keeps them in it 0-0.
Before we go to the other Champions League game, Preston were 1-0 down to Middlesbrough. They had captain Alan Brown sent off, and now their evening's got even worse, Ali Pollock.
Yeah, well, just at half time, I'll have to find a bit more about it for you when you next come back to me. But their manager, Alex Neil, has also been sent off for an altercation with the officials down the tunnel at half time. So now they're a goal down, they're without their captain and they're without their manager, and it's 1-0 to Middlesbrough, 47 minutes gone.
It's unlike Neil Warnock to be the quieter manager. We're going to go over to Pride Park. Brentford were in control, but not anymore, James Simmons.
Well, just after I said Derby looked like they were providing nothing attack and they only go and score, it was advantage after Brentford fouled one of their players, just played it across the 6-yard box, and the man that came on, Lee Gregory, with his first touch of the ball, just taps it in. Derby 1, Brentford 2 after 47 minutes.
Thank you very much. Approaching the 10-minute mark in the game between Real Madrid and Atalanta. Is there much going on, Mickey? And he's not there. Brilliant. Love a technical glitch. Okay, we're going to move on then. Charlie, is there much going on in the game at the Vitality?
It's still all Bournemouth, and Arnaut Danjuma has been absolutely fantastic. He plays through Dominic Solanke, but Lamboutier managed to clear it off for a throw-in, and Swansea have the ball on the halfway line. Still 1-0, 22 minutes gone.
Perfect, thank you very much. We're going to go over to Kenilworth Road, where Luton were in control against Coventry. Is it still that way, Liam?
Yeah, absolutely, Luke. We're 2 minutes into the second half and Luton fully in control. Coventry have barely touched the ball. No changes from either side after the first half, so both managers clearly satisfied with the teams that they put out. Expecting more Luton domination given the extra man, but it's still 2-0 here after 48 minutes.
We had an exciting end to the first half at the Cardiff City Stadium. They're back underway for the second half. James, is it just as exciting as the end of the first half?
I mean, it started all right. No changes at half time. I don't really know what I was expecting. Obviously, Cardiff have got, They scored twice as many goals in the second half as they do in the first, and Stoke haven't won away since mid-December. So perhaps I was a bit too hopeful that something good was going to go down. But no, nothing's really happened so far. 2 minutes in, free kick to Cardiff, but it's quite a way out. Still 0-0.
Back to the Champions League. There's a chance for Borussia Mönchengladbach, Ryan.
Yes, there was. And Borussia Mönchengladbach almost got themselves back in the game inside 10 minutes. They won the ball high up the pitch through Lars Stindl, their captain. High up the pitch, City playing it out from the back, and they got caught. He nipped in and managed to feed Marcus Thiam. He had a shot from the edge of the area, but as it took a deflection, Edison did well to tip it just past the post for a corner.
It's a big chance for Borough at the Riverside. But before we go there, we're going to try Mickey again. Is he there with a Champions League update for us on Real Madrid versus Atalanta?
Yes, apologies for that, Luke. We're having some connection problems over here. Atalanta are pretty surprising with the intensity they're starting with and with the kind of urgency they have. They had a shot on target in less than 3 minutes. Luis Muriel from the left side put in a cross for wingback Gossens, who unfortunately lacks the power and the pace on it and shoots it right at Courtois. Still 0-0 here, 10 minutes in.
My screen's just lit up. There was a big chance for Middlesbrough, and now there's been a goal, Ali.
Yeah, there's a fantastic save from Preston goalkeeper Daniel Iverson, and then just seconds later, Middlesbrough have come straight back up the other end and tapped into an empty net. It was a good bit of play. I can't see who it is that scored, but I think Yannick Blassi's rattled the crossbar. The ball's bounced down. Chuba Akpom's had another go. It's been blocked on the line and it's fallen out. And so I think it was Paddy McNair advancing, coming late into the box to head into an empty net, and it's 2-0 to Middlesbrough after 51 minutes.
Middlesbrough closing in on their 10th home win of the season. There's been a goal at Plough Lane. Which way has it gone, Luke Hammond?
Finally got something right this evening, Luke. It's a goal for Wimbledon. It's Wimbledon 1, Wigan 1 here. The man on loan from Sunderland, Dobson, steaming into the box. A great ball in, lads, right on his head. He glances the ball, far post, in the box, and in the goal even. Wimbledon 1, Wigan 1 here at Plough Lane.
There's a penalty at Crawley Town. George Power.
Yeah, and it's to Walsall. Osman stayed up and he's hit bottom left, goal 1-0 Walsall. Penalty came after Gordon found himself in behind the Crawley defence and a clumsy tackle from Turncliffe to bring him down inside the box. 1-0 Walsall.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Elsewhere in League Two, there was a huge chance at the Peninsula Stadium, but who for, Angus Sinclair?
I don't think I'm watching the same game, Luke. It's erupted into life here. Salford are pushing, probing for that goal to put them ahead. I believe it was James Wilson again with a big header. He should have scored, but he went wide. But Salford are all over Colchester at this moment in time. It's 0-0, 54 minutes gone here.
Big chance at the New York Stadium. Matas.
Yes, Watford's top scorer, João Pedro, had a chance one-on-one, but Rotherham's defender just came out of nowhere and blocked the shot. And after the corner, nothing happened, and still it's 3-0 to Watford.
Elsewhere in League Two, Alfie McCalmont has made it Scunthorpe 0, Oldham Athletic 1. In the National League, Kieran Lofthouse has made it Woking 1, Altrincham 0. Elsewhere, it's Wrexham 1, Eastleigh 2. Joseph Tomlinson with the goal there. And where should we go next? There's a goal in the Champions League between Manchester City and Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Oh my goodness me, what a goal. It is Kevin De Bruyne from outside the area. And I mean, with his weaker foot, does he have a weaker foot? Riyad Mahrez on the right-hand side brought it in field, and he set De Bruyne. And it's so inviting. And he hits it first time across Sommer, barring in 1-0 City inside 13 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. At Vale Park, they're back underway, are they, Ollie Johnson?
Yes, they are, mate. Newport had a really good chance about 5 minutes ago. Substitute Scrimshaw hit it on the volley, just hit the crossbar. Probably the best chance Newport have had of the game. Certainly started off well second half. So, yeah, still 1-0 Port Vale.
In League One, there was an action-packed first half for Sam Holmes at the Valley. Are we any closer to a fifth goal yet?
Not yet, Luke. It's been a slow start to the second half, but that was the case in the first half, so I'm hoping it will burst into life. Charlton, if they can get the win, it would be a massive moment for their interim manager, Johnny Jackson. He played 200 appearances for the club. I think if they got the win today after being 2-0 down, that would be his best memory for Charlton. But we'll see. It's Charlton 2, Bristol Rovers 2.
Perfect. Thank you very much. In the late kickoff at the Vitality Stadium, is there much going on, Charlie?
There's been nothing in the last 10 minutes. 50% of the possession have been in the midfield area. Swansea are starting to get back in the game. They've had more possession than they had in the whole game, but still 1-0 Bournemouth, 28 minutes gone.
All the way down to the National League. Now then at the Technique Stadium, Hayden, are we any closer to a second goal?
No closer than we were during the half-time break when they were eating oranges, to be honest with you, Luke. We've got a player down already in this one, only 5 minutes into the half, and it's Will Randall for Sutton, who's on the floor now, getting treatment. I think this game majoritively has been done on the floor, to be honest with you, with tackles going in and players recovering from injuries. It's still 1-0 to Sutton.
Most of the work going on the floor, and they're eating oranges at half-time. Hayden's having a whale of a time down there. Oh, my word, what a miss at the Peninsula Stadium, Angus.
Well, like I said before, I can't be watching the same game. There's more action happened in the first 10 minutes here than there was in the whole of the first half. Salford are just relentless with their pushing right now. It was James Wilson yet again with a shot, narrowly missed. 3 more players lined up to shoot, but all 3 times blocked. I don't know how it didn't go in.
Still 0-0 in that game. There's been a goal line scramble at the Kassam Stadium. Joe Parker.
I'm not quite sure how Oxford aren't 4-0 up, Luke. They're causing absolute chaos. Doncaster cannot deal with them. And it seems like the Oxford attackers are just queuing up to get a 4th goal tonight. But that one there's just somehow stayed out. And it's all Oxford United at the minute. Still 3-0, 55 minutes in.
Third place, Lincoln City are still 2-0 down to Gillingham. Harry Smith, are they any close to a goal?
Well, Gillingham's 2 centre-backs have barely moved from the edge of their own box this half. Lincoln have been pressing so much further up, but still no real clear chances. It's still 2-0 to Gillingham right now. No clear chances as of yet in the second half.
No clear chances there. Are there any clear chances for you at the Cardiff City Stadium, James Ryan?
Nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing at all. It's probably got worse since you last spoke to me, really. Can't think anything's happened. No subs yet. The game's being played in the middle half of the pitch. Long balls, really. Nothing going on. 55 minutes gone, and it's still 0-0.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Derby County had half the lead at home to Brentford. It's 2-1, and they're only close to a second goal, James Simmons.
They are. They just missed a big opportunity. It's chalk and cheese between Derby in the first half and second half. They're holding more of the ball. They're putting crosses in. They're making runs, and they've got a corner now. And it's punished out by the Brentford keeper, but there's a bit of a scramble. All one good save by the keeper, and Brentford clear. Derby 1, Brentford 2, 56 minutes in.
Half time at Phil Mill. It's Mansfield 0, Carlisle United 0 in League 2. Newport County desperately need a goal at Vale Park. Are they any close to getting one, Ollie Johnson?
Yes, they've just equalised. It's substitute Jake Scrimshaw. Brilliant ball through. I think it was Josh Sheehan right through the Port Vale defence. Scrimshaw in the box. Puts it past Scott Brown in goal. 1-1.
Plymouth Argyle need to take a leaf out of their book. They were my outside bet for a playoff spot in League 1. Are they any closer to getting a goal against the MK Dons, Bryce?
Not much to report on, Luke. Plymouth have been pushing forward a bit more. There's been a couple of half chances. Ryan Lowe's been forced into his first substitution. Ryan Hardy, who I thought had a chance earlier, actually was Luke Jeffcott, has come onto the pitch for Luke Jeffcott. So look for a more attacking spark. But at the minute, they're on their way for 5 defeats on the trot. Thank you. 1-0, 57th minute.
Any close to a goal in the Champions League? Mickey Dressati.
Nothing yet here, Luke. No serious chances since the 3rd minute. Unfortunately for the Italian side, Real Madrid are picking more and more of the ball and are starting to take control of the game.
Thank you very much. There's been a goal in the other Champions League game involving Manchester City. Which way has it gone, Ryan Honey?
It's gone to Manchester City, and they have doubled their advantage ultimately. They lead 4-0 on aggregate, and it is honestly mesmerising stuff from Pep Guardiola's men. John Stones did very well to wriggle away from the pressure of Breland Bolo. He threaded the needle pass through to Phil Foden, who turned his man and drove at the Mönchengladbach defence before threading a pass into the feet of Ilkay Gundogan. And the form he's in, he's never going to miss. He slots it past Sommer. 4-0. 4-0 on aggregate, 2-0 here tonight after 19 minutes.
Man City 4-0 up then. Are Watford any closer to finding a fourth against Rotherham? Matas Baranauskas.
Well, Watford brought in more forwards, so they're not stepping down. So they want to keep the pressure on Rotherham, but still no big chances, and it's still 3-0 to Watford.
Closing stages at Plough Lane. Do either side look like they can nick it, Luke Hammond?
Yeah, this game's balanced on a knife edge, Luke. The ball's been played in the middle third quite often here. Wigan were pushing forward in the last 5 minutes or so, but Wimbledon seem to be dominating here. They're playing the ball around the box. So it looks like, well, I haven't been right. Well, I've been right once, but it looks like Wimbledon might grab a winner here. Still 1-0.
Just over the half-hour mark at the Vitality Stadium. Charlie Parker, is there much going on? I think he's frozen. We'll come back to him. George Power, is there much going on at Crawley?
I tell you what, Luke, McNerney's lucky not to be sent off. He come in with a very late studs-up tackle onto Lavery, and he's very lucky not to be dismissed for only a yellow card here.
Over to our other pundit at London Road then. Jack, Portsmouth any closer to an equaliser?
Yeah, it's been all Portsmouth this second half. It's complete change from the performance in the first half. There's less hoofballs happening. The ball just tipped over the bar from a Portsmouth corner, but yeah, it's literally been all Portsmouth. They've had a couple of decent chances. They had a clear header from a free kick around the 57th minute just before he came to me, but they've made the first sub, bringing on Marcus Harness for Andy Cannon. So it looks like they're going to be going for it in the second half, but still Peterborough 1, Portsmouth 0.
At Sincil Bank, Lincoln desperately need a goal if they want to hang on to any chance of having automatic promotion this season, but they've been denied by the woodwork, Harry Smith.
Yeah, the constant pressure isn't stopping. It was Tayo Eden from the right-hand side dribbling in onto his left foot. He hit the ball really well from the edge of the box, and it was a wonderful save from the Gillingham goalkeeper, just tipping it onto the bar. Still 2-0 here.
Well, I said Plymouth needed to take a leaf out of the Newport County book and score a goal, and they have. Over to Bryce Denton for more.
Yeah, it's a brilliant goal from Connor Grant. The ball was coming out to the left-hand side, and he struck it sweetly with his left foot for about 25 yards out, and he hit it straight across the goal, and there was no chance for Andrew Fisher in goal. It was a brilliant goal. 1-1, 61 minutes played. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you very much. It's also 1-1 at Bloomfield Road. Blackpool have scored to level it up. It's Luke Garbutt with a goal there in the 64th minute. We're going to go off to Kenilworth Road. Liam Davis.
Yeah, we're 17 minutes into the second half and absolutely nothing to report. Despite Coventry being a man down, they look like the most likely of the teams to get the next goal. No real chances as of yet. So it's still Luton Town 2, Coventry City 0.
He's back. Is there much going on in the game at the Vitality, Charlie Parker?
Well, you've come to me at a drinks break. There is literally nothing going on, but it's still a midfield battle here at Vitality Stadium. Swansea still haven't got a foot in this game. 1-0 Bournemouth, 37 minutes gone.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Mickey Dressati, are Atalanta any close to levelling it up against Real Madrid?
If anything, Luke, they are getting farther. Madrid are getting more and more control of the game. Nothing really interesting here. 23 minutes past, Real Madrid 0, Atalanta as well.
We're approaching the 90-minute mark at Plough Lane, and there's been a chance, but for who, Luke Hammond?
Yeah, cool, sorry. Yeah, it's very nearly a winning goal for Wimbledon. The ball was drilled in by the right back into the channel of uncertainty, and Dobson is a whisk away, dives in, can't get his boot on it, and that would have put Wimbledon 2-1 up. So, unfortunate for Wimbledon there. Still one.
There's a penalty at the New York Stadium, but for who, Matas Baranauskas?
Yes, it was a penalty for Rotherham, but William Trusacon clumsy challenge on the Rotherham, and Michael Smith, top scorer of Rotherham, actually missed the penalty. It was saved by the Watford goalkeeper, and he failed the opportunity to score and get closer to the comeback. It's still 3-0 to Watford.
Well, Rotherham haven't beaten Watford at home since February 2003, and it looks like that run's going to continue. What about Saints' arch rivals Portsmouth? Are they any closer to an equaliser, Jack Cross?
No, it's been, since you last spoke to me, it's been all Peterborough again. Although I was surprised to see Peterborough take off what has been, in my opinion, their best player this game. Seki Dembele has come off. Looks like he had a bit of a limp on, so it could be an injury there, but Mohamed Ais has come on to replace him, and he actually nearly had made an instant impact for the home side, cutting on Portsmouth's goal, and wasn't convincingly saved by the Portsmouth keeper. He parried it back out and managed to just get onto it, but that's been the only key chance since last spoke to me. It's still Peterborough 1, Portsmouth 0.
There's been an injury at the Vitality, but for which side, Charlie?
It's Junior Stanislas for Bournemouth. He seems to have picked up not running down the wing. Rodrigo Requeme has come on for him. They played with 10 men for about 30 seconds, but Swansea still don't have a foot in this game. Still 1-0 Bournemouth, 39 minutes played.
It was a boring opening 15 minutes in the first half for Sam Holmes at the Valley, but then the game warmed up. Has it been a boring opening 15 minutes to the second half as well?
Not as boring as the first 15 in the first half. Charlton are putting on the pressure now. Hold on. No, almost. They've just tested the keeper again. Liam Miller, about 5 minutes ago, found Washington in the box. It was a great ball through, but he couldn't put it past the keeper. He kicked it straight at him. But if I had to bet on a team to score the winner, it'd be Charlton here. Charlton 2, Bristol Rovers 2.
Perfect. Thank you very much. In the National League at the Walk Stadium, it's Kings Lynn Town 2, Hartlepool United 2. Reece Oates with the goal for the visitors there. At Edgeley Park, it's Stockport County 1, Barnet 1. Alex McQueen with the goal for the visitors there. And leaders of League 2, Cheltenham Town, their afternoon's just got even worse. Sean Long has just scored for Barrow to make it Barrow 2, Cheltenham Town 0, a massive step towards safety for the EFL returnees. Right, let's go around the grounds at the Riverside. Ali Pollock, is there any closer to a goal?
No, not since you last come to me. Preston haven't really got into the game at all, but they've managed to pick up a free kick in a dangerous position here. Daniel Johnson's just stood over it, about to cross. Quite a lot of yellow cards now in this one. It's turning quite scrappy. You can tell Preston down to 10 men. There's been they made quite a few changes, bringing on Daniel Johnson. They've brought on Reece Jacobson, who scored in the reverse fixture. They're just about to take this free kick now, if you stay with me. And it's cleared away. Terrible delivery from Daniel Johnson. 2-0 to Middlesbrough after 66 minutes.
Thank you very much. There's only a goal now that separates Derby County and Brentford. Are Derby any closer to getting on level terms, James Simmons?
Well, Brentford have got their foothold on the game back. They're the ones controlling possession. Derby are looking a lot better than they were first half, but still, after the first 10-15 minutes, Brentford managed to get back in there. They're the ones playing the passes. They're the ones controlling the ball. So still Derby 1, Brentford 2 after 6-7 minutes.
Full time at Plough Lane. Has it ended level, Luke Hammond?
It has. It's 1-1. It's finished 1-1 here at Plough Lane. Wimbledon will be unlucky to not take the win here. They had some good chances. Darnell Johnson had that looping header early on. Piggott had that left-footed shot. Longman as well in the first half. And in the second half, against the run of play, Wigan grabbed that goal. And then from then on, it was all Wimbledon. They were playing the ball round well with their attackers. Palmer was in there. Longman was in there. Piggott as well, trying to link the play. And then that unbelievable header. The ball was really well whipped in, put on the sixpence, nods it far post to make it 1-0. And then from then on, Wimbledon were dominating. So they've climbed a few places here in League One, so they'll feel happy about that. But yeah, we finished here 1-0 at Plough Lane.
Thank you very much. There's been a big chance. Did Real Madrid have the opportunity to kill the tie, Mickey?
Yes, but potentially the most exciting thing that has happened since the 3rd minute. A good counterattack from the men in white. Vinicius Jr. runs from the left side towards the box, combines with Benzema. He's set up right at the penalty spot. He almost dribbles past the goalkeeper, feints him. The keeper falls down. He almost has an empty net, only for Cristiano Romero to slide in and save it, more likely block it. One thing though, it came off his elbow, though no one has said anything about it. Still 0-0 after 29 minutes.
Are Manchester City any closer to a third, Ryan Honey?
Well, it may just be a matter of time. They're seeing a lot of the ball in the opening half an hour, obviously scoring the 2 goals. And Mönchengladbach have struggled, although there was a slight reaction. City have still maintained a lot of possession. So as things stand, City doing everything right.
Back to the Championship then. At the New York Stadium, Rotherham did get a goal back. Are they any closer to getting level, Matas?
No, I don't think so, because actually Watford just scored their 4th one, and I can't see right now Rotherham getting back to this game because Watford is all over them, and yeah, it's just Watford in this game and nothing else. Watford 4, Rotherham 1.
Thank you very much. In the National League, Dagenham and Redbridge have gone 1-0 up against Weymouth. Liam Gordon with the goal there. And at York Road, a big goal for Maidenhead and a big goal at the top of the table as they lead 2-0 against Torquay United. Nathan Blissett with the goal there. Currently level at Vale Park between Port Vale and Newport County. Are we any closer to finding a leader, Ollie Johnson?
Yes, mate. It's pretty much been all Newport this second half. They certainly had the chances. And Mickey Dimitriou's doing his job with the long throws. And Scrimshaw's been absolutely superb since he's come on. Like I said, he got the goal. He's had another good chance as well. And Port Vale really haven't had a look in this half. So Newport very much have the opportunity to get a winner here.
Round the grounds in League 2 then. Are we any closer to another goal at the People's Pension Stadium, George Power?
Not at all at the moment, Luke. It's all been cruelly attacking. Walsall just seeing the game out for 1-0 win from the looks of it.
Thank you very much. Then off to the Peninsula Stadium. It's still goalless at the minute. Are we any closer to breaking the deadlock, Angus?
Well, we've seen a drop in action over the last. Well, as I say that, Colchester just rifle a shot into the top of the net, but it is ruled out for offside straight away. It's calmed down here. Colchester tried to score with a bicycle kick a couple of minutes ago. However, it did not end very well. Salford have really taken their foot off the gas here. It's 0-0 in the 73rd minute.
Down to the National League then. Chesterfield are still behind against Sutton United. Are they any closer to drawing level?
Well, they've had a few good chances here, Luke. They had a string of chances around the hour mark, forcing a lot of saves out the goalkeeper, earning corners out of it. But the damage that's being done by Sutton on the break is evident. Omar Bagil, Donovan Wilson and Harry Beautyman keep hitting them on the break, getting those counter-attacking chances. A collision just outside the box has just led to the Chesterfield captain, Gavin Gunning, going down injured. So he's just been brought off. It means all 3 of their subs have gone, 2 of them for injuries. Sums up this quite physical game here in the National League. It is remaining Sutton 1, Chesterfield 0.
Elsewhere in the National League, it's Wrexham 2, EC 2. Top scorer Kwame Thomas has got the 2nd goal for Wrexham. That's his 9th of the season. But up in the Championship, there's been an important goal. Charlie Parker.
It's Bournemouth again. They've dominated this game. They deserve it. Danjima's whipped in the corner. Solanke is taking credit for this header he put in the bottom corner, but I think it's come off Lambuti. Yeah, it may be counted as an own goal, but Solanke is taking credit for it. 1 minute left of extra time in the first half. 2-0 Bournemouth.
It has gone down as an own goal. Swansea have only lost 2 of their last 16. It looks like that might become 3 in 17. Let's go elsewhere in the Championship. At Kenilworth Road, are we any close to a 3rd goal, Liam Davies?
Not particularly. Coventry were dominating the first 20 or so minutes of the second half, but now the extra man for Luton is starting to play its part in this game. Coventry look very leggy, very tired. Luton still are yet to create a chance in the second half, but they're pressing Coventry really well. So it won't be surprising to see them get a 3rd anytime soon. 72 minutes gone here, and Luton Town 2, Coventry City 0.
Still goalless in Cardiff. Are you any close to a bit of excitement, James Ryan?
The most exciting thing we had was just after the hour mark. Keith Moore had a good chance from a long throw from Volks on the right-hand side. He saws in the box just outside, puts it over the bar. Since then, in the 10 minutes, nothing's really happened. No subs yet. Yeah, very slow one. Still 0-0.
Middlesbrough are in control at the Riverside. Are they any closer to a 3rd, Ali Pollock?
No, not really. They're cruising now, keeping the ball in and around the Preston penalty area, but not too much to report. Mark Bowler, the left back, just had a shot deflected wildly wide, but that's about it so far. It's still 2-0 to Middlesbrough at 74 minutes gone.
Watford in control at the New York Stadium, currently 4-1 up. Does this look like this could boost their goal difference, Matter?
Yeah, for sure. Watford is all over them. Rotherham is. You can see that Rotherham is trying. They found their energy, but Watford is just too good for them, and I can't see Rotherham getting another goal here.
Goal in the Champions League in the game between Real Madrid and Atalanta. Real Madrid came into the game leading 1-0 on aggregate. Have Atalanta drawn level, Mickey?
Terrible mistake from Atalanta, Luke. They'll be very disappointed when they look back at this if they lose. Marco Sportiello has all the space he needs and all the time, makes a terrible pass. Modric intercepts it, goes into the box, hands it to Benzema in front of the goal, point blank range. He opens the scoring. 34 minutes in, Real Madrid 1, Atalanta 0.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It's half time at the Vitality, Charlie. What does Swansea need to do to get back into this?
They need to have a shot on target. They've had one shot the whole first half and it went way over the bar. They need to have more possession in the half of Bournemouth. It's been dominating from Bournemouth. A lovely goal from Philip Billing, the overhead kick, and an own goal from Lamboutier put Bournemouth 2-0 up at half time. Will Swansea revive their Premier League automatic promotion chances?
Angus is finally getting a bit of excitement at the Peninsula Stadium. Salford just went close, didn't they?
Well, after Colchester had a nice, decent spell here, Salford tried to turn the gas up. Robbie Gotts on loan from Leeds United, a young player there. He's taken a tame shot into the centre of the goal, but it's saved easily. Salford actually just had a penalty appeal here. They're looking at it again, but I think the decision has been made, and yeah, no penalty there. 10 minutes left here, 0-0.
Thank you very much. Any danger of a goal at the Valley, Sam Holmes?
No real shots to take note of. It's been more Charlton having the pressure. They're loving crossing the ball in, but Bristol Rovers have defended so well so far. Charlton have now put on Chuck Tanike, their top scorer. He's got 13 goals this season, so they're really going for it. And if they get that win, as it stands, they'll go into the playoff spots. It's Charlton 2, Bristol Rovers 2.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Last time we went to Sincil Bank, Lincoln had hit the woodwork. Have they got any closer, Harry Smith?
They haven't got any closer than that, but their pressure is continuing. They've taken some really good blocks from Tucker and Cundy at the back from Gillingham to stop them from scoring. We're moving into the last 10 minutes here, and it's still 2-0 Gillingham.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Elsewhere in League One, it's full-time. AFC Wimbledon 1, Wigan 1. That result doesn't really help either side at the bottom of the table. It's Blackpool 1, Burton Albion 1. And now we're going to go to Stadium MK, where it's MK Dons 1, Plymouth Argyle 1. Have we got any close to a third goal, Bryce?
It's been a very even second half after the goal from Conor Grant. Will Grigg has been brought on for Cameron Jerome and did have a great chance, but his finish wasn't very good, quite frankly, and it was quite a comfortable save for Mike Cooper in goal. I'm sure Ryan will be happy about his side's reaction to the poor first half. But yeah, 1-1, 76 minutes played.
A few minutes ago, Joe Parker couldn't believe Oxford weren't 4-0 up. Have they got any closer?
No, still 3-0 here, Luke. Carl Robinson, the Oxford manager, has rung the changes with three coming on at once there, with Kelly, Brannigan and Taylor coming off to be replaced by Joe Grayson, Mark Sykes and Dan Adjie. But I think it's going to be a case of both teams have really accepted that this game's over, with Oxford United just sort of controlling possession, neither side really having any of the any big chances. Still 3-0 here, though, with 13 minutes to go.
Thank you very much. Just a goal separates the sides at London Road. Jack, are we any closer to drawing level?
Yeah, it's been all Portsmouth this second half, and they've had two clear headers that have just gone wide. But a few seconds ago, Peterborough had the chance to put the game to bed. Joe Ward did brilliantly getting down the right-hand side, and he put it across the byline, and the keeper had missed it. And Harrison Burrows got his feet all muddled up and couldn't quite get his foot to the ball. So Portsmouth were able to get the ball clear. But yeah, it's definitely, if I could see any team getting the next goal in this, it would probably be Portsmouth for me. And they've made a couple of changes. Sean Raggett's gone off. And Ryan Williams has gone off as well, which I was surprised about. But Harvey White and Geordie Hewell has come on. So it's still Peterborough 1, Portsmouth 0, but Portsmouth definitely getting back in this.
Half time at Highbury, it's Fleetwood Town 1, Ipswich Town 0. Paul Cook's side behind there. And there's been a goal in League 2 at Vale Park, Ollie Johnson.
Yes, and it's gone to Port Vale, surprisingly. It's probably their first major attack of the half. They've completely been out of the game for this 45 minutes. And it's their top scorer, Devante Rodley's caught onto a loose ball. It was good defending initially by Newport, but Nick Townsend got to it, and it's probably the first time he's been challenged this half. Devante Rodley just slots it in, nobody around him, 2-1 Port Vale.
Port Vale having a miserable time at the minute. A win here could really start to turn their season back around. There's a dangerous free kick at the Peninsula Stadium, Angus.
Well, there's a bit of confusion here. If I'm being totally honest, I think it should be a penalty to Colchester. But that's not to be. The referee decides otherwise, and it's a dangerous free kick right outside the box. They're lining up to take it right now. There's a slight delay. We might be 20 seconds away from the free kick here. It's a really good position, though, right on the right side of the box. Perfect opportunity to just scoop it over and get a fantastic win. And it's blocked by the wall. It's a very tame effort. They didn't capitalise there. It's 0-0, 83rd minute.
Finally, then, in League Two for now, we go to Crawley. Any close to another goal, George Power?
Not really. It's been really resilient defending from Walsall today. Crawley haven't had a sniff of it, but John Yems will have a lot to say after this game. This performance has been woeful. Coming into the 84th minute now, still 1-0 to Walsall.
Thanks very much. Down to the National League then at the Technique Stadium. Sutton United's lead at the top of the table could be as big as 7 points tonight. Are they any closer to a second goal, Hayden?
I think either side are really getting much closer to a goal, to be honest with you, Luke. Not really a lot's happened since you were last with me. It's been a lot of possession in the middle of the park, really. A lot of goalkeepers taking their time with goal kicks. I don't think Chesterfield look any closer to getting level. And I think Sutton are going to be pulling away at the top of the table a little bit further tonight. 78 minutes gone here. It is still 1-0.
Back to League One then. Another close chance for Oxford. Joe Parker.
Yeah, it was the substitute Dan Adjie who's just come onto the pitch. He's swiveled and turned and managed to create himself a lovely little shooting opportunity, but sadly for him, it's drifted just wide of the post. Still 3-0 though, with 10 minutes to go.
After Sincil Bank again, they've hit the woodwork, and another chance goes begging for Lincoln.
Yeah, this one was quite a big chance as well. It was for Tom Hopper, and more good work down the wing from Tayo Adoon, and he pulled it back, and Hopper stretched for it and just couldn't reach it, but he looked to do himself some damage whilst he tried to reach it, and now he has gone off and Scully has replaced him. It's still 2-0 with 5 minutes left here.
In the Champions League, Man City may well be 4-0 up, but Borussia Mönchengladbach aren't giving up yet, Ryan Honey.
No, they're not. They're not going down without a fight. And although City have had a lot of the ball this half, it's Gladbach that really should be back in it, so to speak. They should have got back on the score, or should have got back in the game. It was brilliant play from Marcus Thuram. He got past Rodri and slipped the ball into Breland Bolo. But after turning John Stones, he couldn't quite get his shot on target, and he dragged it just wide of the post. Still 2-0, 4-0 on aggregate, 5 minutes before half-time here.
Thank you very much. One of the few games left that's goalless has just had a chance at the Cardiff City Stadium, James Ryan.
Yes, it's come to Cardiff again. They've definitely played better this second half. It's good work from Leandro Bacuna and Johnny Williams, who's just come on for Shea Yoder in the middle of the park. Breaks back to Bacuna. He's got Keith Moore ahead of him. Plays him in. He's in acres of space, running one-on-one with the keeper. Takes 2 touches, gets to the edge of the penalty box, and massive over hits the touch through on goal, one-on-one, right in the middle of the goal. Straight to the keeper's arms, and his chance goes begging. Sums up his form recently. 81 minutes gone, and it's still 0-0.
Let's check in on our second Champions League game. Then Real Madrid are 1-0 up, 2-0 up on aggregate. Does it look like that could change anytime soon, Mickey?
A progression and definitely an increase for the urgency for Atalanta over here. They're getting a lot more physical and a lot more aggressive, especially up front with the pressure. Still 1-0 though, Real Madrid, still 1-0 for Real Madrid here, 2 minutes away from halftime.
Let's go back to Pride Park. Still only 1 goal separates the sides. Are we any closer to Derby drawing level, James Simmons?
Well, Derby just nearly got the equaliser. Outside the box, it was a deflected goal, but good reactions by Raya and the Brentford goal. It's looking a lot more even now. Brentford, they're showing threats. They brought on Fosu for the goal scorer, Kassam, but he's not created too much. But Kazim Richards for Swansea has gone off injured, so that'll be a big blow for them. He's made some really good runs this half. He assisted the goal, but now he's off injured. It looked like a muscle injury, so hopefully not too serious. 84 minutes here, gone, Derby 1.
Another chance for Cardiff at the Cardiff City Stadium. What's going on?
Yeah, it's full to that man, Keith Moore again. Brilliant play in the middle once more. Over the top from Pack, over the top of Bath and Chester at the back. Comes down, he hits it on the volley. It's quite a tough chance with his left foot and he puts it just wide. Still 0-0.
At Central Bank, Lincoln have had chance after chance to get themselves back in this game. They haven't taken them, and now they pay the price, Harry Smith.
Well, it's been completely against the run of play, to be honest. Jordan Graham was driving down the right-hand side, and it was quite a soft challenge, in my opinion, but the referee sees it as a penalty, and it was Graham who stepped up to take it, smashing it into the top right-hand side of the goal. So it is 3-0 to Gillingham here at Central Bank.
We had 4 goals in the first half at Charlton, and we finally got a 5th goal in the game. Sam Holmes.
It's gone to Charlton. They fully deserved it. They've piled on the pressure on the Bristol Rovers defence. It was from a breakaway. Chukwuemeka's made a massive difference since coming on. He's headed it through to Connor Washington, who's tapped it past the keeper. It looked like it was going wide, but it crashed off the post back to Washington, who's there to tap home. 3-2 to Charlton against Bristol Rovers, 85 minutes gone.
Half time in the Champions League. Mickey Dressati.
And a controversial one as well, Luke. The referee just blew his whistle as the midfield was sending Luis Muriel through on goal. 1-0 for Real Madrid over here. If you didn't catch up, Benzema opened the scoring at the 34th minute after a terrible pass from goalkeeper Marcos Portiello that sent him through on goal.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Barnet were looking for just their 4th win of the season in the National League, but it's not going their way. They did draw level, but Stockport County have scored again. 2-1 at Edgeley Park. Jack Stratton with the goal. There's been a goal at Pride Park, and this could be a massive goal in the Championship. Which way has it gone, James Simmons?
Well, it's gone to Derby. It's 2-2. Patty Roberts, the Man City loanee, just come on. He's played a beautiful ball to Sibley, who's curled it from the outside the box, top corner. There's no chance for a Raya. It looks like Derby might just have rescued a few points, but 5 minutes left now. It's 2-2. Let's see if Derby can get the win.
Derby were coming into this game looking to avoid back-to-back defeats against Brentford for the first time since the 1930s. They look like they might have just done it there. It's half-time in the game in Hungary. Let's have a report from Ryan Honey.
Yeah, it's half-time here at the Puskas Arena. It's been pretty smooth sailing so far for Pep Guardiola's men. They lead 2-0 at the break, 4-0 on aggregate. And although Marcus Thuram and Breland Bolo have threatened for Borussia Mönchengladbach, it's really been all City. Their possession, their passing has been very smooth, and they are creating a number of chances. And it could be more than 2 realistically. And Marco Rosa's side will be thankful it's not more than that.
Thank you very much. The race is on between Angus watching Salford and James in Cardiff as to who watches the first goal in their game. Let's go to Angus. Are we any close to a goal in the Peninsula Stadium?
I'm afraid we're not. It's looking, Salford are pressing, but I don't think they're going to get the first victory over Colchester in their history today. We've got a minute and a half left of added time. Unless something drastic happens here at the end, I think it's going to be 0-0 here at Salford.
Let's go down to the National League then. Talking of first wins in their history, Sutton are still leading Chesterfield. Do they look like they might get across the line here, Hayden?
I think they will be, Luke. I think it will be a first ever win away at Chesterfield for Sutton United tonight. Although Chesterfield have worked the goalkeeper a few times, a really good long-range effort came in from, of all people, Alex Whittle, the fullback. Really forced a strong save out of the goalkeeper. That's probably been the best of the chances in the last 10 minutes or so. Sutton look to be trying to work this one out. It's still 1-0 to Sutton with 5 minutes left.
Things seem pretty quiet at the New York Stadium. Or Watford closer to a 5th, Matas?
No, they are not closer, but the game is like still down, and like both teams has chances, but there was no like clear-cut chance to either team. And today, although Watford scored 4 goals, but Rotherham's goal was the best of the night when Laudrup just curled one in outside the box, and it was perfect finish and keeper had no chance. So Watford 4, Rotherham 1, and it's nearly full time.
There's a penalty at Stadium MK. The game was level at 1-1. Which way has it gone, Bryce?
It's gone to MK Dons. There's a ball whipped in from the left-hand side, and Mark Edwards has gone, well, it's a block across, leading with his arm. It's hit his elbow, and the referee could only give the penalty. Been currently slotted away by Will Grigg, the substitute. He's obviously potent in divisions of English. He's gone on tonight. 1 MK Dons, 88 minutes.
Breaking up a bit there from Bryce, but if you didn't catch that, Will Grigg stuck the penalty away for MK Dons. They lead by 2-1. Over to the Kassam Stadium. Oxford's clean sheet bonus was on the line, almost literally.
Yeah, it was there, Luke. I think it was Okunabire for Doncaster. The ball broke to him on the edge of the box from a corner, and it required a goal line clearance from Oxford United. I think it was Joe Grayson who cleared it off the line. But then Oxford countered, and Dan Adji went inches wide of the post again. So it's sort of looking a bit more open now, but I think the game might just be over at 3-0 with 5 minutes to go.
Squeaky bum time at London Road. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Jack Cross, can Portsmouth dig out a late goal?
Well, look, we're about halfway through that added time now, and Portsmouth are definitely going to have a go, but Peterborough tried to keep it up into their far corner and just messed it up massively, and it ended up being a goal kick for Peterborough, and that was a massive chance just then in going into the final minute of added time for Portsmouth to put the ball out wide. It was headed down, and they've just put it over from about the 6-yard box, and I think that's probably going to be the last chance for Portsmouth, to be honest. Peterborough 1, Portsmouth 0.
Correction on the penalty from Bryce. It was Scott Fraser who stuck it away. MK Dons 2-1 up against Plymouth Argyle there. There's been a fight at Pride Park. James Simmons, what happened?
Well, it looked like Brentford were pressing. Derby got the ball back, launched it long. Gregory, in an attempt to head the ball wide or head the ball, he stuck his arm out, clocked Winston Reid in the face, and he did not like that one bit. There was a bit of a scrap. Few other players got involved, but after talking from the ref, it looks like it's all cleared up now. Still all level at Pride Park, but it looks like Derby are pressing for a.
Thank you very much. There's been another penalty at Crawley. Which way has it gone this time, George Power?
It's gone to Crawley in the dying embers of the game. It's just hit 5 minutes on the clock. The ref was about to blow full time. Free kick gets crossed in. Keeper comes out to punches. Makes contact with Crawley defender Tooncliffe instead of the ball. Medical staff are on. He is down, looking seriously injured at the moment. But penalty stands to Crawley.
We'll come back to you then for the outcome of that penalty. We're back underway at the Vitality. A halftime sub to tell us about, Charlie Parker.
Yeah, a sub for Swansea, Joel Laboutiere, who scored the own goal, did seem to be limping just before halftime whistle. He's been replaced by Morgan Whittaker. Other than that, nothing's been going on in the first couple of minutes of the second half. Still 2-0 Bournemouth.
Thank you very much. Full time, it's goalless at the Peninsula Stadium. Angus Sinclair.
Thank you, Luke. Well, there's some discontented faces, I can't lie. Salford will not be happy with that. It's 1 win in 6 now for them in the league, especially after just beating Portsmouth in the Papa John's Trophy last season's, which was delayed due to coronavirus. But Salford are now 5 points off the top 7 places. Bad result for them today.
Into the 95th minute in the game at the People's Pension Stadium. George Power has the penalty, struck the back of the net.
It may be one of the worst games I've ever seen, but it's one of the best penalties I've ever seen. Nichols is picked out the top right for Crawley with absolute power and absolute precision. 1-0, the game looks like it's about to be wrapped up.
Stoke have hit the woodwork in Cardiff. James Ryan.
Yeah, it's pretty much been the first chance they've had all half. I think it's going to probably give me a game that Kiefer Moore won't want to see again. But the ball comes out on the right-hand side to Reece Norrington-Davis, and he smacks it in. Joe Allen, who barely touched the ball all game, would love to have obviously got one, being a Swansea boy and a former Swansea player, but he hits the post. I think the full-time whistle is just about to go.
Red card at Charlton, Sam Holmes.
There's a red card for Joe Day, Bristol Rovers' goalkeeper. He was way off his line and the ball was there to be won. He went for it, but Chuck Sanike jumped, headed the ball past him before getting clattered by the goalkeeper. He's been sent off now. They're just preparing a substitute keeper. Only 2 minutes left for Charlton to hold out, and it looks like they will now do it. Charlton 3, Bristol Rovers 2.
Full time at Rotherham, Matas Baranauskas.
Yeah, Watford were the comfortable win. Like Rotherham really, apart from first few minutes, really didn't have a chance, and Watford dominated on first and second half. And yeah, like with this performance, Watford can try to get their second place in the championship and secure that automatic promotion.
All over at Sincil Bank, a very disappointing evening for Lincoln City. Harry Smith.
They'll be very disappointed indeed. Gillingham knew that if they didn't win this game, then their chances of getting playoffs would be very slim. But thanks to goals for Verdane, Oliver, Carl Dempsey and Jordan Graham, they did get the 3-0 win away from home.
Thank you very much. It's the case of new manager, same form for Portsmouth, Jack Cross. Yeah,
and it's finished 1-0 to Peterborough. And to be honest, I think Portsmouth could be looking quite unlucky in that. It's the story of the last few years. They seem to get close, but they just can't put it away. And they had that they were on top for a large part of that second half. But yeah, that's a fourth defeat in a row for Pompey now. And as it stands, they're down to 10th in the league table. Full time 1-0 Peterborough.
Full time at the Riverside and Middlesbrough firmly back in the playoff picture. Ali Pollock.
Yeah, it was a comfortable victory for Middlesbrough in the end. The red card massively changed the game, took all the fight out of Preston. An own goal from John Story when he was under very little pressure from a Yannick Bolasie cross, followed by a Marcus Tavernier header. I said Paddy McNair earlier on. We don't get the replays, unfortunately, on the streams, but it was Marcus Tavernier who tapped into an empty net. Alex Neil also sent off the Preston manager, so all round a terrible day at the office for Preston, but Middlesbrough will be happy as they move closer to the top 6.
The day ends in disgrace for Preston, but it ends in salvation for Crawley. George Power.
Yes, it's 1-1 full time now. Late controversy. Got Crawley out of jail free after what can only be described as a woeful performance for him. Neither manager happy with the ref's decisions, with both of them confronting the refs and officials at full time. But that's it. Wrapped up at 1-1.
From a score draw in Crawley to a goalless draw in Cardiff, James Rann.
Yeah, pretty poor game, if I'm honest, mate. Not one that I'll be remembering, to put it that way. Yeah, really struggling. Stoke offered very little in the first half, very little in the second half, probably just that Joe Allen goal. So that's 9 in a row away from home that they haven't won. I think, like I said before, this will be probably one that Keith Moore won't want to look back on. He had 3 chances, and 2 of them were very good. And he has struggled recently form-wise, so that might be a reason why. Mick McCarthy can't be too annoyed. It's his 998th game as a manager, and he's not going to go home feeling a bit upset. But yeah, I think you just want to forget about it and move on to the next one. Obviously, Cardiff got Swansea at the weekend, so they should be definitely ready to play for better than that at the weekend.
A comfortable win for Luton Town at Kenilworth Road, Liam Davis.
Yeah, comfortable win indeed. The red card for Coventry proved to be the turning point in the game. Never really got a foothold in the game or had any chances after that. The first half goals from James Bree and Elijah Adebayo proved to be the difference. Could have been 3 towards the end. Adebayo had a huge chance from 10 yards out, but struck the keeper. But Luton looked solid all game and saw the game out, and it finished 2-0.
Thank you very much. Full time at Pride Park, and it ends in a stalemate. James Simmons.
I mean, talk about a tale of two halves. First half, Brentford dominated. Derby looked like they offered absolutely nothing. Then whatever Wayne Rooney said at half-time seems to have worked, because Derby were the better team second half. They could have gone on and won it. Last 5-10 minutes, Brentford were very much on the back foot. Derby were really pushing for a goal, but still no goal. So it ends 2-2 at Pride Park.
It's all over at the Cassam as well. A comfortable win for Oxford and a clean sheet. Joe Parker.
Yeah, it would have been exactly what Carl Robinson would have wanted this morning when he woke up. 3 points, 3 goals, which is what they've been lacking recently. 2 goals for Matty Taylor after his dry spell, and also a clean sheet, much needed. A very workmanlike performance in the second half after blowing Doncaster away in the first half, but altogether a very professional and workmanlike performance from the U's.
All over at Vale Park, and it's a costly evening for Newport. Ollie Johnson.
Yes, that's right. From being pretty much certainties to win for most of the second half, it was that, silly goal from Devontae Rodney, who ended up taking all 3 points. It's the first win since January for Port Vale, especially, and it's also the first win for new manager Darryl Clark. They've had 3 managers since that January win, and hopefully they can go on to kick on from now. But yeah, 2-1 Port Vale full time.
It's all over at Stadium MK. Bryce Densham.
Yeah, it's finished 2-1 to MK Dons. Quite a lackluster game overall, to be honest. The late penalty from Scott Fraser gave the 2-1 lead. Plymouth did put it back in the second half after a Port opening. A brilliant effort. You got to see it after the game from Conor Grant. But yeah, that would be a talking point. Finished 2.
All over at the Valley, and there's no miracle comeback for Johnny Jackson. Sam Holmes.
It's been a tough couple of days for Charlton. They've lost their manager Lee Bowyer, but what a night for Johnny Jackson and the club. They've came from 2 goals down to win 3-2. A Connor Washington winner late on in the 85th minute sealed it. We saw a red card in the 93rd minute for Joe Day of Bristol Rovers, and even Joey Barton put a Charlton player in a headlock. So everything's happened at the Valley today. It's been a great game. Charlton 3, Bristol Rovers 2.
And finally, for now then, down to Chesterfield in the National League. Before tonight, they'd never dropped points and never conceded against Sutton at home. But that all changed tonight. Hayden Baker.
It very much has changed tonight, Luke, and just the scenes of jubilation for the Sutton players tell the entire story. It finishes Sutton United 1, Chesterfield 0. Sutton put themselves 6 points clear at the top of the table over Hartlepool and are really flying now. Kick the hoodoo of this record at Chesterfield. And given the amount of players they're missing today, this would be a result they'll look back on. The 35th minute goal from Donovan Wilson was all it took to separate the sides in the end. It finishes Sutton United 1, Chesterfield 0.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We'll take you through all the full times and all the scores you need to know in just a moment. For now, though, over to the Vitality. How are things looking, Charlie Parker?
It's still all Bournemouth. The 2 chances Bournemouth had, Danjuma had a free kick on the right side. It was headed by Steve Kirk, but it went flying over the bar. Philip Billen also had a chance from the edge of the box, but he hit it literally out of the stadium. So far over. 57 minutes played. Swansea is still 2-0 down.
Thank you very much. The full times in the Championship then. Cardiff City 0, Stoke City 0, Derby County 2, Brentford 2, Luton Town 2, Coventry City 0, Middlesbrough 2, 10-man Preston North End 0, Rotherham 1, Watford 4, and Bournemouth 2, Swansea City 0 is a current scoreline. In League 1, Wimbledon 1, Wigan 1. It ended in the early kickoff. Blackpool 1, Burton 1, Charlton 3, Bristol Rovers 2, Lincoln City 0, Gillingham 3, MK Dons 2, Plymouth 1, Oxford United 3, Doncaster Rovers 0, Peterborough United 1, Portsmouth 0, and in the late kickoff, it's currently Fleetwood Town 1, Ipswich Town 0, the 9th minute goal still separating the sides there. In League 2, a shock at Wadham Road, Cheltenham Town 0, Barrow 2, Crawley Town 1, Walsall 1, Port Vale 2, Newport County 1, goalless between Salford City and Colchester United, a point towards safety for the latter. Scunthorpe 1, Oldham 1, and in the late kickoff, it's Mansfield 0, Carlisle United 1. Off to the Champions League then. Second half is underway between Real Madrid and Atalanta. Mickey Dressati.
Yeah, Luke, just a minute and a half in, Gianpiero Gasperini decided that he's going to introduce Duan Zapata for Mario Pasalic. Pasalic has been looking good over the weekend, but as the half drew to the end, he started looking more and more tired. Duan Zapata is one of their best goal scorers after Luis Muriel. He's got 5 goals in the competition, and hopefully he'll bring to Atalanta what they need. Real Madrid 1, Atalanta 0, 46th minute in.
In the other game in Hungary then, Manchester City are 4-0 up and in control. Do they look comfortable, Ryan Honey?
Yeah, so they kick off this second half in cruise control and probably with a foot in the quarter-finals of the Champions League this season. I'm surprised there's been no changes from Marco Rosa, no changes to the team for Mönchengladbach. Alassane player is on the bench. He hasn't scored in his last 7 games, but I imagine he will be introduced at some point in the second half. But after Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan got them on their way this evening, they haven't looked like stopping.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Down to the National League then, the full times. Like we said, a first ever win for Sutton away at Chesterfield. Kings Lynn picked up another point at home against Hartlepool. It's enough to move them out of the relegation zone as it stands. Stockport County beat Barnet by 2 goals to 1. Managerless Barnet, of course, and Wrexham versus Eastleigh ended 2 apiece at the racecourse ground. Let's go back to the Vitality. Charlie Parker, is there much going on?
It's still Bournemouth. There's been no real chances. Swansea did have one chance at the edge of the box. Grimes, it came from a corner. They put it out at the edge of the box to Grimes, who dragged it too far right. It's wide, but Bournemouth have a free kick very deep in Swansea's half, but it's still 2-0 Bournemouth, 60 minutes played.
Goals in the National League to let you know about. It's FC Halifax 1, Aldershot Town 0. Jamie Allen with a goal in the 84th minute there. It's Borehamwood 2, Notts County 0. Kabongo Tishimango, their top scorer, with the goal there. At Hewish Park, it's Yeovil Town 0, Bromley 1. Michael Cheek with a goal in the 56th minute. And in League One, it's Fleetwood Town 2, Ipswich Town 0. Gerard Garner with the goal there. Let's talk to Jack Cross about the importance of his game in League One. A huge 3 points for Peterborough. They just look like they've started to slide, but they look like they've turned the ship around. Yeah, it's massive. I mean, after two back-to-back defeats and without a winning 3, they definitely needed to get back to winning ways, and they've pulled 3 points closer to league leaders, and they've still got 2 games in hand on them, so everything's looking quite rosy for Peterborough at the minute, although they won't get ahead of themselves after that win, because Portsmouth definitely looked a better side than what their form shows. They definitely pushed them in the second half, and I thought Portsmouth were going to be the team to go and nick a goal, to be honest. And for the table, of course, that means Peterborough moved to within 3 points of Hull City with 2 games in hand. Your beloved Hull City. Are you feeling nervous at the top of the tree? No, Lincoln lost 3-0 tonight. Top 2 is looking pretty solid now. Does that mean you take second? Yeah, definitely. Oh, come on, Jack. Go for the league title. Show a bit of ambition. Yeah, you said, well, I take it, not do I want it. Okay, fair enough. Charlie, is there much going on at the Vitality?
I don't know how the referee hasn't booked him, but Roberts has thrown a cheeky elbow at Diego Rico, and he's given the free kick, but he's got away with any extra. I think there's a substitution about to happen for Swansea, but I'll come back to you on that. It's still 2-0 Bournemouth, 62 minutes played. Thank you very much. We're going to go back to the Valley with Sam Holmes. A win for Charlton today sees them move up into the playoff places, just ahead of Ipswich, who are currently losing. How big is that for them?
Yeah, it's massive for them. It's just what they needed when they lost their manager. They played really well today. They started really poorly, to be honest, but going 2-0 down was appalling for them. But getting that goal after a minute from going 2-0 down, that was so important for them. That kick-started the comeback. The second half was so much better. They piled on the pressure on the Rovers' defence and finally got the breakthrough deservedly through Connor Washington. And they held out. They were fine. They were comfortable towards the end. And it's a great win for them. Whether they can keep pushing on, that would be a real question, because they have been inconsistent this season, but a step in the right direction. Well, then put your money where your mouth is. Do you think Charlton will finish in the top 6 this season? Luke, I don't, but but we'll see. If they play like that, how they did in the second half, they could definitely do it. And a lot of teams are bottling it towards the top end of League One, aren't they? So it'll be interesting, but I don't think they have enough, losing their manager as well. Brilliant. Thank you very much. A late goal in the game at Field Mill. Mansfield Town 1, Carlisle United 1. Stephen McLaughlin with the goal for the hosts. Jack, let's turn our attention to the bottom of League One then. Wigan currently in 20th, just above the bottom 4. How important was that point for them tonight? I think every point is massive at this point of the season. And, well, a lot of teams have got games in hand, but if you've only got the odd one, which most of the
the bottom few teams do, it could be huge for getting the rest in towards that end of the season. But yeah, that point could be huge for them, although AFC Wimbledon do still have a game in hand on them.
Well, enough of the League One chat for the time being. There's been a big chance in the game involving Real Madrid and Atalanta. Who for, Mickey?
Yeah, again for Madrid, just a chance for them to kill the night. Ferland Mendy sends Vinicius Jr. through just before the box, and he goes over there with amazing pace and skill, and he has the confidence, to hit the target. He goes on, dribbles a couple of players, gets into the 6-yard box. All he needs is just blow on that ball just to the net, and somehow he puts it off target. Still, Real Madrid 1, Atalanta 0, 53 minutes in.
Let's check in on our other Champions League game. Ryan Honey, much going on in your game?
Not really, Luke. I mean, City comfortable on the ball, seeing a lot of it early on in the second half, and Gladbach are just trying to contain them, really, forcing them back and just trying to frustrate them. But they don't really need frustrating. They need to try and get on the ball and try and get back into this game. But as things stand, City doing what they need to, still 2-0.
City comfortable in that game, but there was a big chance for Swansea. Charlie Parker.
Swansea finally get a shot on target. It's Morgan Witter, the substitution, has hit one from about 28 yards out, and Asmir Begovic makes a great save, and the resulting corner comes to nothing. 66 minutes gone, still 2-0 Bournemouth.
A penalty has been converted in the game at Hewish Park. It's now Yeovil Town 1, Bromley 1. Reece Murphy with a goal there, an hour gone in that game. Jack, let's go back to League One. Sorry, I'm relying on you a lot. AFC Wimbledon looked like they were stuck to the bottom of the table before tonight, but they're now within 2 points of safety in 22nd. Again, maybe not an ideal point. Maybe they would have wanted to take 3 from this game, but it's a point in the right direction, isn't it?
Yeah, they'd definitely been more annoyed if they'd lost the game. Wickham would have just pulled further away from them. But as we've seen Burton in recent games, that even if you're down there at the bottom and you get a good run on, you can look at them now, they're like 10 points clear where they was before. So a lot of progression can still be made even just from a point.
Well, I can see Luke Hammond is back with us. He watched the game. Luke, would you back either or both teams to stay in the division this season?
Well, it's hard to say. Wimbledon haven't performed to that level in recent weeks. They really haven't been clinical enough in front of goal. And today, to be fair, that goal was really good, but they did have a lot more chances to score. Wigan weren't as good as obviously they're down in relegation zone, but they've won 2 in their last 5, so they haven't been as good as they have been in recent weeks. But I would pick them to stay out of the relegation zone. Their attack at times was good. I mean, they counter-attacked well, and they got the ball forward into the striker well. So I'd pick them to stay out of the relegation zone.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's shuffle up a division into the Championship then. Jack, an important win for Middlesbrough tonight with Cardiff dropping points. They're now ahead of that chasing pack in 8th, trying to chase the top 7, the main playoff chasers. Can you see Middlesbrough sneaking a playoff place?
Yeah, I mean, just look what happened last year when Forest were in the playoffs for basically the whole season, and they slipped off at the end. And I think, apart from, I suppose it's between Barnsley and Reading who's going to slip up, I'd imagine. But if Middlesbrough keep going in decent form, you can imagine, they could get in, or anyone probably just down to 9th at the minute could sneak into there.
It's interesting you say Barnsley and Reading. Obviously, Reading unbeaten in their last 4. Barnsley, as we know, are the form side in the Championship. Do you think we could see anyone like Brentford have a big tail off again?
I can't see it. I mean, I know tonight they'd dropped. They'd see that as dropping 2 points, but I think the top 4 are probably going to be too. I think they're safe. I think they've got 2 strong sides to go in, but as you know, anything can happen with Reading, and Barnsley have just been going on this mad run. So I'm sure they might slip up at some point, but getting into these last 10 games of the season, anything can happen.
Back to the live game in the Championship for now then. A change for Swansea, Charlie Parker.
The substitution I talked about 10 minutes ago has finally happened. Jan de Handa has stood on the side of the pitch for about 10 minutes. Corey Smith has come off, but Bournemouth have a free kick in Swansea's half. It's still Bournemouth 2, Swansea 0, 69 minutes played.
Another chance for Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Champions League. They're going close, but no cigar. Ryan Honey.
Yeah, it was a close one. They should have had at least one goal tonight, but it's just not gone in for them, not gone their way. A brilliant corner from Hoffman from the left-hand side, and it's whipped in with real venom, and it hits the midriff of Zakaria and falls perfectly for the left-back, Bent Bainey, but he can't direct his shot on goal, and it's still 2-0, 4-0 on aggregate. 57 minutes played.
Thank you very much. It's very tight in the game between Real Madrid and Atalanta. We got an update from Mickey Dressati.
Yes, Luke. They're still looking at it. It might be a penalty. It might be a free kick just outside the box. Vinicius intercepts the ball just at the midfield line, runs in behind the defenders. Unfortunately for Atalanta, all of their wingbacks are up front, and a lot of space is behind them. It's looking like Sergio Ramos is setting up for a penalty, and he's going to take it in a moment, if you can stay with me. Sergio Ramos is looking at the goal. Oh, they're still checking it. If you can come back to me in a second, Luke.
We'll be back to you in just a minute then, Mickey. Another change in the game in the Championship this time for the Cherries. Charlie Parker.
It's the midfield change for Bournemouth. Jack Wilshere has been excellent this game, controlling midfield. He's come off and Ben Pearson has replaced him. 2-0 Bournemouth, 71 minutes gone.
Thank you very much. Back to Mickey with news on that penalty.
Yep, it was a penalty, Luke. Sergio Ramos takes it to the right side. Oh, Marcos Portiello, the goalkeeper, does jump to the right side, to his right side. But still, Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0. Just the hour has just gone fast. It's looking really difficult for Atalanta at the moment.
Thank you very much. We're going to go back to the New York Stadium now, this time to talk to Matas Baranauskas. Matas, a 4-1 win for Watford. But looking at the lower end of the table, Rotherham are now 3 points adrift from safety with 3 games in hand. Did you see anything from them to hint that they could stay up?
Yeah, as you said, they have still 3 games in hand. Could be a big result for them. And yeah, they played lively today. You can see that they have potential to stay up. Like their striker Lapado looks very, very good. And I can't see why not they can stay. Why not? Because Birmingham is not playing very well right now. And Rotherham, as I said, 3 games in hand. That's a big difference.
And then for Watford, then, a statement win, really. 4-1. Secures their position in the top 2 over Swansea, who are currently losing. Do you think Watford could sneak automatic promotion?
Well, I think Swansea has game in hand over Watford right now, but they still, I think, 3 points clear. So, yeah, with their squad, yeah, they definitely can sneak the automatic promotion. They are 1 goal short of equaling goal difference with Norwich right now, but I can see them catching up Norwich, but I surely see them automatically go up.
What do you reckon of Reading's chances? Do you reckon Reading can sneak top 2?
Top 2? Nah, sorry, but no, not top 2.
It was worth a chance. No, I agree with you on pretty much everything you've said there. And let's talk about Norwich. 7 points clear at the top of the table, Jack. Run away with it really this year. Is that a bit of a disappointment? Because the Championship was for the drama last year.
Yeah, well, the biggest drama last season was the massive break. So, everything could have changed. But I think this year Norwich have been fairly consistent. They've been the team to beat, and I think most teams knew that when they came down, when they saw the majority of the squad had stayed, and they added Championship quality to it, and yeah, they've just ran away with it. And going back to your worry about Reading's record earlier, I think they need to win all their games. I think they might slip up, so I think you're probably all right there.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think it'll be a bit of a tough off. Let's go down to the Kassam Stadium while we're on the topic of promotion. Oxford United came within a few a whisker, I think we can put it, of promotion to the Championship last season. After what I'm going to call a playoff hangover, they're now within 2 points of the playoff places. Joe, how are you feeling after that win?
I'm very impressed, actually. It was very professional, very workmanlike in the second half. Not at all what I was expecting. The team as a general had been struggling for goals recently, but that performance was absolutely exceptional in the first half with the high press and getting Doncaster on the back foot, which was what was needed. And then 3-0 up at half time, the game's pretty much over, and we just killed the game off. I think Doncaster probably had 1 or 2 chances in the second half, but nothing of real note, and it was just a very professional performance from the boys.
Obviously, you went on this brilliant unbeaten run through the middle of the season. Come off it a bit recently. Do you think you could go on another one to the end of the season to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, quite ironically, actually, the winning run was ended at Doncaster away in February. So I wouldn't mind if this win started another run, but a lot of big games coming up, so who knows? But yeah, you'd like to think if you stay unbeaten until the end of the season, then I don't see why Oxford won't be in the playoffs. But it's a big if.
Oh, thank you very much, Joe. Back to the live game at the Vitality. Swansea, any close to getting back into it, Charlie?
It's completely changed. Just all Swansea at the moment. They're attacking. Wickham had a shot from close range that was amazingly saved by Begovic. Bournemouth are currently clearing that effort, and they're running up the pitch with Billen. It's still 2-0, 76 minutes gone.
Thank you very much. Off to the Champions League. Ryan Honey, Man City still in control of their game?
Yes, they are, as you'd expect, 2-0 on the night, 4-0 on aggregate. Pep Guardiola already looking forward to his next game. Double change on the hour mark. Fernandinho and Zinchenko coming on to replace João Cancelo and Rodri. It looks as though it's just going to be a matter of when, not if, this game finishes. City look like they're in the quarterfinals.
Thank you very much. Of course, another year in the quarterfinals for Manchester City. And looks like Real Madrid will be doing one better than they managed last year. They're in control against Atalanta, Mickey.
Indeed, Luke, they are doing very well. They are in big control of the game right now. It's looking really hard for Atalanta. Interestingly enough, though, Sergio Ramos and Benzema, both of them are the scorers. Both of them were not there in the first leg, and they come back and they make sure that they have their impact on the game. That said, Ramos just left the pitch for Eder Militao. He's just come back for injury. It's pretty smart for him to rest now. Unfortunately for Atalanta, another blow comes for them as Rafael Toloi, their captain, and one of their best defenders just got injured and left the pitch. Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0, 65 minutes in.
Thank you very much. Let's go down to League Two now then. George Powell, let's talk to you about the two teams you watched today. A 1-1 draw between Crawley Town and Walsall. The result leaves Crawley 5 points off the playoff places with a game in hand on 7th place Morecambe. Do you think they've got a realistic chance of playoffs this season?
If they do, they've got to be better than they were tonight. But I don't think it's going to happen for them this season. They've had some good performances throughout this year, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take them up. Maybe they'll get playoffs, but I think that's a bit of a push for them.
And I mean, in stark contrast, at the other end of the table, Walsall 19th, 39 points, 9 points above Southend in 23rd in the relegation zone. Do you think they've got any worries?
With being 9 points clear, I don't think they have anything to worry about, but they can't afford too many slip-ups if they want to stay safe.
Perfect. We're going to go back to Ryan Honey, who said City should have had a third.
Yes, they should have done. Fernandinho picked the ball up on the halfway line. He just thought, why not? He ran past half of the Mönchengladbach team before feeding Mahrez inside the penalty area, all on his own. He decided to have a pop, and Sommer got down well to his left to palm it away to safety. But really worrying signs for Mönchengladbach to go further behind here. I mean, City look dangerous every time they're going forward in the last 5 minutes, and here they are again. Fernandinho on the edge of the area. Mahrez out to Walker on the right-hand side is going to drive past Bent Bainey, it looks like. And, oh no, he cuts back and it looks like the attack's gone and they restart. De Bruyne back to Stones. It's still 2-0 here, 4-0 on aggregate.
Another goal in the National League. It's Bournemouth 2, Notts County 1. Michael Doyle fires his side back into contention in that game. The gap is halved. There's been a chance in the game between Real Madrid and Atalanta, but for which side? Mickey Dressati.
Atalanta just got a little closer. Oh, and Benzema. Oh my goodness, forget about Atalanta for the moment. A terrific cross came towards Karim Benzema's head. He heads it. Marcos Portiel incredibly saves it, goes back to the Frenchman, heads it again off the post. 68 minutes in, Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0, 3-0 for the Spaniards on aggregate.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to look ahead to this weekend's football action. The FA Cup is back. We're going to go to Chelsea fan George Power for this one. George, your side face managerless Sheffield United. How are you feeling about that one?
I'm fairly confident, especially with how poor Sheffield have been this season. I shouldn't have too many worries. Tuchel seems to come in, sort us out defensively, so I don't see it too much as a threat. It should be easy pass to the next round.
Are you not worried your side could be a bit too complacent?
I feel like we could be, but at the same time, I also feel like Sheffield aren't going to be the team we slip up to and suffer Tuchel's first defeat to.
Oh, you never know. Weirder things have happened in football.
It's the magic of the cup.
It is the magic of the cup. Sheffield United are big underdogs this year. See if Luke Hammond's still with us. As a Man United fan from Surrey, I'm afraid he's one of those plastics. But let's see if he's still with us.
Yeah, I'm here.
He is. Your side face Leicester on Sunday. Quite a big game, that one.
Yeah, it's massive. You know, we haven't had a great run of form recently. Leicester have also dropped off a bit, but it's a Champions League sort of battle out there, obviously in the Premier League. I don't know how that's going to go. You know, we can be quite inconsistent against West Ham. They were awful, and we really struggle to break down teams which sit back. And I don't think Leicester will do that. We beat them on the last day of the season last year with a decent performance. So I think we could come on top on this. I'm saying 2-1.
2-1. He's confident. I like
That's
it.
my Manchester accent there, by the way.
Yeah, I love it. Obviously a regular at Old Trafford. Let's go to the live game in the Championship. Charlie Parker, is there much going on at Dean Court?
No, there's not much going on. Bournemouth will be happy with what's going on. They're just knocking around in the midfield. There was a substitution. Conor Hourihane has come off and Wayne Routledge has come on. 82 minutes played, still 2-0 Bournemouth.
Thank you very much. George, back to you then. The other two quarterfinals, Bournemouth versus Southampton. Bournemouth, the only EFL side left in the competition. Could they pull off an upset here?
I mean, they definitely could pull off an upset, I think. Bournemouth have been in very good form recently, and Southampton not so much. A big rivalry between the two as well, being on the South Coast, so should make it good watching for an interesting game.
Obviously, two teams in quite poor form, really. Bournemouth are going backwards under Jonathan Woodgate. We've all seen Southampton's struggles over the last few weeks. Injuries playing a part in that. Is this a chance for either side to turn their season around again?
I think so. After Southampton have dropped off in the league, a big FA Cup performance will actually boost their season so much and see how far they can go in the competition, because we have seen glimpses of how good Southampton can be this year, but they just lack the consistency at the moment.
Do you think that stop the count post they made after going top of the table has really haunted them?
I think it has. It has come back to bite them, but that's the world we live in, where all the clubs will put what's best out for the clicks on social media.
The other game then looks like it could be quite a tasty one at Goodison Park between Everton and Manchester City. Pep is clearly prioritising the Champions League with his team selection last weekend. But do you think how comfortable they are tonight means he can also now take the FA Cup seriously as well?
I think so. And they've just been so good this year that it's hard to see them not winning at all.
Do you think they could clear up? Do you think they could win everything?
They're certainly good enough. It just depends if luck's on their side, I think.
Yeah, very true, very true. Right. We're going to go back to the EFL. Jack, we touched briefly earlier on in the programme about Lee Bowyer's appointment at Birmingham City. Is that a good appointment for you?
I think I'll be looking for him to prove it to me, because like we mentioned earlier, it's a bit of a strange one for me, and I think he's only really got the job because he used to play for Birmingham, and I don't know what their owners are thinking with that change. Obviously, they had to do something. Aitor Karanka wasn't the man for them. It's just been a downward spiral since he's been in. But Lee Bowyer's job at Charlton, he was sort of getting them back into the playoff picture after a poor run. A lot of red cards they've been having, but yeah, he's not had the best time at Charlton either. Like going up, going straight back down, and then not having the best season back in League One. But yeah, I don't know whether keeping them up will be down to him or down to the other sides below them as poor performances.
A lot of red cards, mainly thanks to Chuck Zaniki by the looks of it. But do you think Lee Bowyer is a better coach than Aitor Karanka?
I don't know. It's hard to say because what Aitor Karanka has like done in the past coaching, he got Middlesbrough promoted out of the Championship. So I think it depends. If Lee Bowyer is given money to spend, and if he keeps them up, it'd be interesting to see who he brings in the summer and see how they do next year. But a lot can change, so he might not even be there come the end of the season if they go down.
Do you think they could go down?
Oh, they could definitely go down. Like Rotherham could have a turn in form. They've got a lot of games in hand. Wickham, like you say, I think it'd be very unlikely for them to get out, but it'd be a great escape if they do. And Sheffield Wednesday is just waiting for that Darren Moore effect of a new manager coming in, but it's not looking like it at the minute.
Are you surprised that Coventry are slipping back into the playoff picture? Because, in all honesty, for a promoted side, they've had a pretty decent season.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right, which they would have took at the start of the season. I think they would have just took safety, but to finish a few positions above the relegation zone, I think they're more than happy with that. And it just comes down to how poor the rest of the teams have been. I think Wickham have sort of been how we'd expected them to be with the first time in the Championship, but Sheffield Wednesday have been done with that -6 points as well, but they'd have been well adrift if they'd kept the -12.
And if you were in Rotherham's position, would you rather have games in hand or would you rather have points on the board?
In their position they are now, you'd want the games in hand, but in general, I prefer points on the board because everyone else has got to catch you up. But I'm sure Paul Warne will be happy with the games in hand, and he'll look to take advantage of that.
Let's turn our attentions back to the top of the Championship table then. There's been a goal in the game at Dean Court. Have Bournemouth killed the game, Charlie Parker?
Bournemouth have very much killed the game. You couldn't tell which team were the team that down because Bournemouth have been the ones pressing. And Philip Billen on the edge of the box just plays through Arnaut Danjuma, who's been absolutely spectacular this game, and he just powers it past the keeper. 3-0 Bournemouth, 8.
Thank you very much. An emphatic 3-0 lead for Bournemouth then at the top of the Championship table. Let's turn our attention to Brentford then. James Simmons is still on the line for us. He watched Brentford throw away a 2-0 lead against Derby County tonight. Let's see if he is still there. He is still there. There's his beautiful face. James, what did you make of Brentford tonight?
They just blew hot and cold, really. First half, they were electric. Like they were stringing 10, 15 passes together all at once, playing Derby off the park. And then I don't know what happened, whether it was Derby turning it on or Brentford just thinking they've won the game and sailing through. But it was just completely different second half. They had some good spells in there, but for the most part, Derby were the ones threatening. Derby were the ones creating chances, and Derby were the ones scoring.
Do you think it's a costly miss for Brentford? I mean, they're now almost cut adrift in the middle of the Championship playoff picture. They're 5 points behind Watford in second and 6 points ahead of Reading in fifth. Do you think that's their season done until the playoffs start?
I mean, if they put together like a good run of form towards the end of the season, then maybe not. They're not at risk of dropping out the playoffs. They're still very much secure in there, but it does just look like they might have to go through the playoffs once again. And if it's a repeat of last year, losing the final.
And is it another case of the importance of grinding out results for Brentford after the way they kind of bottled promotion last season?
Yeah, I think it is. You can see with Derby County, they've not been in good form, but what Rooney brought to them is that ability to grind out results. It's not pretty, it's not high scoring, but they get the results at the end of the day. And that's what Brentford lack. They either absolutely control the game, dominate the game, or if the opposition seem to turn it on, if they play well, if they manage to counter Brentford's system, then they just don't have answers to it.
Let's pause the Brentford chat there for a few moments. There's been a big chance in the game involving Real Madrid and Atalanta. Mickey.
Honestly, Luke, if you had come back to me a few moments earlier, I would have told you that Atalanta had already given up. But Duvan Zapata gets his second shot on target since he's come on. And you wonder what would have happened if he was fit enough to start the game. He gets through after a brilliant pass from Malinovsky, though Thibaut Courtois stretches out very well and makes a huge save for Los Merengues, as it remains Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 0 after 79 minutes.
Of course, Duvan Zapata, Atalanta's top scorer in the Champions League this season with 3 goals. Let's check in on the Manchester City game. Ryan Honey, is there much going on?
Not really. I mean, Manchester City have had a lot of the ball in the last 10, 15 minutes, and Borussia Mönchengladbach have really struggled to get their way back into this game. Sterling, Aguero and Laporte have entered the fray with Diaz, Gundogan, and who else has come off? Oh, I've forgotten. Slipped my mind. I can't remember who else has made way, but Pep's already looking ahead to Everton at the weekend. So it's pretty much done and dusted here with 10 minutes to play. City, like I was saying earlier, one foot in, well, pretty much 2 feet in the quarterfinals.
Thank you very much. Over to Charlie Parker. Are Bournemouth any closer to a 4th?
No, but they have just brought a sub on. The man of the match, Dan Juma, who's been absolutely fantastic this game, controlling the midfield, dominated Swansea, has come off for Chris Menfam. There's 2 minutes left of this game. 3-0 Bournemouth.
Thank you very much. We haven't really spoken much about the Premier League tonight. George, since the Thomas Tuchel revolution at Chelsea, he seems to have a good 1-0 scoreline, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we're not scoring a lot or playing the best football at the moment, but he certainly sorted out our defence a lot. So, I mean, I can't complain as long as we keep winning games, but it's not the best football to watch, but he's getting us to where we want to be, back in the top 4.
Do you think it could become a top 3 finish? Do you think Leicester have the capacity to bottle again?
I mean, Leicester's always a tough one to call because everyone's just waiting for him to slip up, and you never know if they're going to slip up or just carry on steamrolling sides. So it's a really tough one to call. I don't want to write Leicester off saying they're going to bottle it because they're perfectly capable of going all the way and getting top 4 or even top 3.
And obviously, West Ham 3 points behind you with a game in hand. Are you worried about them at all?
Not massively. I'm expecting them to drop off, but we have a game coming up against them end of next month, which will be a real big test for both sides, I think.
Do you think Liverpool still have a chance of making the top 4 now they won against Wolves?
I think most definitely they have a chance. You'd be stupid not to say they have a chance, but it depends on all their players getting back to full fitness. I think if their players come back and hit the ground running straight away, then I certainly see them getting top 4. But if they take time to get form, then I'm a bit more doubtful.
Let's bring Angus in on that one. He's just put an interesting message through saying Liverpool are winning the league. Angus, interesting thought.
As much as I wish that was the case, I regret to say I am joking. I think Liverpool struggle to make top 6. They just need to find some consistency at the back with the centre-back pairings, which they do seem to be doing so with Ozan Kabak and Nat Phillips. I think they've played 3 games together now and haven't conceded a goal. So for Liverpool fans, that's music to the ears. But I think the season will pan out, but we'll see. I would say top 6 for Liverpool would be a good achievement at this stage of the season for them.
And of course, for those of you that are listening with really good hearing, you'll be able to hear Angus's Scouse accent there. He's a local Liverpool lad. Let's go back to Charlie, full-time at Dean Court.
Yeah, full-time here at Bournemouth, 3-0. It was a dominating performance. An excellent goal by Philip Billen at the start of the match, followed by a Laboutiere own goal at half-time, and then finished off by Dan Juma's amazing effort in the 87th minute, a dominating, a complete opposite performance to what they did at the weekend against Barnsley. Swansea will have to pick themselves up when they face against Cardiff next up. Great performance from Bournemouth. Can they get back into sixth spot? 3-0.
Goal in the game involving Real Madrid and Atalanta. Which way has it gone, Mickey?
Luis Muriel has just proved me wrong. Luke, I was just talking before the game about how he doesn't always score against big sides. Well, now he has just scored an amazing effort. Just a free kick just outside the box on the right side, curls it from right to the left. Courtois gets a touch on it, but it's never enough for him to keep it out. Real Madrid 2, Atalanta 1 at the 83rd minute.
Is the comeback alive, Mickey?
I mean, they still need 2 more goals, and both sides are looking more and more tired. That said, there are many spaces in behind both defenses. Anything can happen at this point, honestly. With 7 minutes left, and I think there'll be a little bit of halftime. My apologies, of injury time. Jasper Gasperini is just doing 2 or 3 substitutions at the moment. I haven't been able to even catch who has gone on and who has gone off. Muriel actually has just gone off right now, and I'll come back with details later. But yeah, 6 minutes left. Atalanta need 2 more goals to reach the quarterfinals. Otherwise, it's Real Madrid in the quarterfinals.
Thank you very much. Let's bring Matas in as an Arsenal fan. A tough season for Arsenal. It looked like they could have built on what Arteta managed to rescue out of last season, but they find themselves down in 10th again. Matas, are you disappointed?
If we finish 10th, yeah, I would be disappointed, of course. But in terms of how we play much better than we played last season. Yeah, I think this year we done a lot of stupid mistakes defensively, and like some players are getting stupid red cards, like Xhaka did against Burnley the first game out. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what's happening.
Another goal in the game involving Real Madrid. Is it a quick 5 second for Atalanta, Mickey?
Unfortunately not. If anything, these 90 minutes has proved that I don't have that much good knowledge about this game. A counter-attack from Real Madrid. Asensio, the substitute, goes on, puts it into near post, and just kills the night. Very sad stuff for the Italian side, considering what they have been doing over the 2 legs. But it's Real Madrid 3, Atalanta 1, with 5 minutes of normal time left. On aggregate, it's 4 for Madrid, 1 for Atalanta.
Matas, back to you then very quickly before we give a summary of all the full times. Can you still win a trophy this season? Does the way you performed against Tottenham show that there's still potential in Europe? Is he still there? He's not still there. Okay, Matas has gone. Right, let's go over to Liam then. Liam's a Brighton fan. Another season slogging it out against relegation for Brighton. Liam, Brighton are actually playing really well. They just haven't been able to find the back of the net before the weekend.
Yeah, it's the same old story for us, really. Obviously, we got a win on Sunday against Southampton, which was huge for survival. We played perfectly well, solid at the back, get in front of the goal. But as soon as we get in front of the goal, we panic and blow our chances every single game. I think everyone has their thoughts on expected goals, but we should be 5th according to that, which is evidence that we need to sign a striker. Got no real firepower up top, but everywhere else in the pitch we're fine. I just hope we can carve out some results before the season closes and retain our Premier League position.
Who would you like then? If you could sign any striker you want, who would you like? Within reason, obviously, because Haaland isn't going to sign for Brighton.
It depends. We announced losses of, I think, £60 million last year, so I can't imagine us breaking the budget. In an ideal world, Ivan Toney maybe, or Abraham on loan. I've seen we're interested in. Giroud's a long shot, but Ivan Toney would be huge, I think, if Brentford don't go up, because he's a clinical goal scorer, as he's proved this season.
Is there any other areas you'd like to improve? Obviously, we know you hung on to Ben White. in your defence? Obviously, Leeds were interested in him. Lewis Dunk is getting on a little bit now. Would you like to see some more youth in that area?
Yeah, well, we've got a couple out on loan. We've got Leo Ostergaard, who played for Coventry tonight, actually, who I watched, who looked pretty assured in defence. And Hayden Roberts on loan as well, centre-back at Grimsby, I think. So we've got some youth ready to go, but whether they're ready to step up or not, I'm not really sure. I can see some departures going in the summer, the likes of Lamptey or Basuma. Whether we've got the squad ready to cover them or not, I'm not too sure. But I have full faith in the board. They're one of the best boards in the country, I'll say. So I've got full faith that we'll have the appropriate squad going into next season.
And a massive game at the weekend coming up. Newcastle, obviously 16th versus 17th. Is that a chance to properly secure your safe spot in the Premier League next season?
It's a big stepping stone if we can get the 3 points. I think it's the definition of a 3 points for both teams, really. I think Newcastle haven't won in their last 5, and we're coming into it off the back of the Saints win. And we're at home as well. Obviously, we've only had, I think, 2 home wins in the whole past year. But a win would be massive. I don't think it would secure our safety at all, because anything can happen. But it would be huge for sure.
So for you, who are your bottom 3 who are playing Championship football next season?
I think the bottom 3 that is now, I think will go down. I think Newcastle's squad is too good to go down. And Fulham haven't really got any consistency going as of late, although they've turned around a few results recently. But I think the bottom 3 now will be the ones going down, I think.
All right, Liam, thank you very much. Let's head off to Charlie Parker, a full-time report on Bournemouth versus Swansea.
It wasn't even close. Swansea, Andre Ayew was non-existent in this game. Bournemouth dominated from the starting whistle, and they scored in the 8th minute with a fantastic overhead kick from Philip Billen, and they just kept the ball. And even in the 88th minute, when they're 3-0 up, they were still pressing, still trying to go after the ball. And Swansea, they weren't even trying. It was a really disappointing performance from a team that is looking to get automatic promotion spot into the Premier League. And Bournemouth, they're looking good, catching up on Barnsley, now only 2 points behind. Now it's a question of, can they catch up with only a couple of games left? It ended 3-0 to Bournemouth.
Charlie, thank you very much. Let's head off to the Champions League. And how have Man City not scored a third, Ryan Honey?
It's absolutely unbelievable, Luke. I mean, it's chance after chance the last 10, 15 minutes for City. And it's Riyad Mahrez again. He's had a few now in the second half. And he was set through on goal by Fernandinho again. And he cut in onto his left foot and tried bending it into that far corner. But just over the bar. And City, although they're winning 4-0 on aggregate, it could be double figures, realistically. The chances they've missed in this second half, it's unbelievable.
Goal in the National League for Yeovil Town 1, Bromley 2. Ruben Reid with the 94th minute goal there, waiting on the final whistle in that game. And it's all over at Highbury. It's Fleetwood Town 2, Ipswich 0. A big setback for Ipswich in their hunt to get out of the 3rd tier of English football. It looks like they're going to slip away from the playoff places again. Matas said he was back. Let's see if he's back now. Talk a little bit more about Arsenal, everyone's favourite club to laugh at. Just kidding. Arsenal 10th, like I said. Impressed? Were you impressed with the win over Tottenham at the weekend after going behind?
Yeah, I think we didn't deserve to concede in that game, to be fair. It was a spectacular goal by Lamela, but we dominated the first half. And at the end, when they went 10 men with it, when they went 1 man down, and it looked like we played with the 10 men. The last 10 minutes, it was all Tottenham, and we were lucky to not concede in that game. But I think, of course I'm lucky with that. Of course I'm happy with that win. It's always fun to win against Tottenham.
And for you, is it still a disappointing season? You're not anywhere near the top 4.
Well, we have Europa League. I think it depends. If we can go far in Europa League or even win it, then it will be good. But in the Premier League, we are now 10th. So it's a bit disappointing, but I think it's all eyes on Europa League at the moment.
And of course, that's your only realistic way of securing Champions League football. Are you not concerned about the gap, though, between Chelsea in 4th and yourselves just at the end of the top half of the table?
In terms of what?
In terms of the points gap, in terms of the quality gap.
Yeah, in terms of a bit. Yeah, of course. Right now, I don't think we can get close to top 4. I think top 6 is a possibility, but top 4, I don't think so. And yeah, quality-wise, I don't know. We'll see when we play them again at the end of the season.
Cool, thank you. We're just going to bring Ollie in quickly, I think, if he's still there after Swansea's defeat tonight at the Liberties at Dean Court. There he is. Ollie, Swansea were on a brilliant run. At times, you looked like you couldn't be stopped, but tonight, almost a shock, really, with the form Bournemouth were in.
I'm not shocked. I think probably recent form, like the past 5 or 6 games. I remember you said, it's only a couple of losses in the past 17 or whatever, or 16 or 17 was it? But I think those losses have come in the past couple of games, and performances, haven't been good enough. We've had late penalties maybe where we shouldn't have had them. There's been decisions go against other teams that should or shouldn't have. And we've been really lucky. So I think, Neil Warnock said, what goes around comes around. And I think that's definitely happened tonight. Because from what I saw, we were absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, you'd only lost 2 of your last 16 before tonight, 3 and 17. Do you think it was coming as well, the way you were grinding results out with those controversial late penalties?
Yeah, and I think it was as well, unfortunately. And that's me saying that from a Swansea fan point of view, that, a couple of the decisions were just bizarre. And we always talk about EFL refs and officials, and it just seemed to go our way, and they've never gone our way. So I think we had our money's worth for the past 10 years in 3 games. But yeah, I think definitely. And we had multiple games in hand, and they've just all gone to waste in the past few games now. And we've got this, and now I think we're a couple of points above Brentford, level on games. We're 3 points off Watford with a game in hand. So, it's not over, but it's certainly not as good as position we were 2 or 3 games ago.
Yeah, 3 points behind Watford with that game in hand. Is it full focus on automatic promotion, or do you think realistically you're going to be fighting it out in the playoffs?
Well,
you have a good record in.
Well, yeah, I think realistically they've got to be pushing for automatic. Whether that, I don't think anybody's going to catch Norwich at this stage. I think Norwich would really have to bottle it, which I can't see them doing because I think the squad's far too good for this league. At the same time, like the playoffs, I love to see Barnsley go up. I really couldn't care less. I really couldn't care less if we got the playoffs or not. But at this stage, if we don't go up automatically with the squad we got and the depth, then we don't deserve to go up, in my opinion.
Do you think if you don't go up this season, you'll start to lose the likes of Andre Ayew and Jamal Lowe and the others?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of them. I think Jamal Lowe might stay. I think he's probably still trying to, get to championship quality, which he has shown this season in patches, but probably not to the extent where he'd be, Premier League teams will be looking at him. But saying that, we have played him out of position for most of the season, so you never know what could happen. But certainly Andre Ayew, a lot of the loan players, Conor Hourihane, he'll go back to Villa and play. Mark Gahey, I said he'll be playing the Premier League next year, whether that's with Chelsea or he might go on loan somewhere again. I think he's a fantastic young player, starting for the England under 21s as well. So yeah, there's some good players there, we've got, if we went up, we had the opportunity to have him back on loan or something. But I think if we don't go up, then bang in trouble for a couple of years.
Cool, Ollie, thank you very much. Just a roundup of the National League fixtures, full time in all of those games now, including the late kickoffs. Chesterfield got beat by a 1-0 by Sutton. Kingsley and Hartlepool drew 2 apiece. Stockport 2, Barnet 1, Wrexham 2, Eastleigh 2, Halifax 1, Aldershot 0, Borehamwood 2, Notts County 2, Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Weymouth 1. A massive win for Maidenhead saw them beat Torquay United by 4-1. Woking and Altrincham was 1 apiece, and Yeovil got beaten 2-1 by Bromley. Let's go back to the games in the Champions League. They're all over. First, Ryan Honey, who watched Manchester City versus Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, game over here, Luke. Comfortable day at the office for Manchester City against Borussia Mönchengladbach. 4-0 on aggregate, 2-0 on the night. It all started just after 10 minutes. Kevin De Bruyne from outside the area let fly, and what a goal it was. He got them up and running for the night. And then shortly after, Phil Foden teed up Gundogan and he tucked away from close range to double their advantage and then double their advantage on aggregate on the night. And they never really looked like throwing it away. And Mönchengladbach, although they had a few chances here and there, never really looked like troubling them at all. Guardiola steers Manchester City to their 4th consecutive Champions League quarter-final and stretches their unbeaten run against Borussia Mönchengladbach to 6 games, winning 5 of those, drawing once.
And for you, did City show the credentials of a team that are going to go all the way?
Yes, they did. I mean, the depth that they've got is quite phenomenal. I mean, Aguero, Laporte, Fernandinho, all coming off the bench shows the sign. Well, it's all pointing in the right direction. And there'll be some force this season, not only in the Premier League as we're seeing, but in European competition too.
Cool. Ryan, thank you very much. Over to the game between Real Madrid and Atalanta there. Mickey Dresati was watching that one. Mickey, Real Madrid were comfortable in the end despite a small scare.
Yeah, they definitely played way better than in the first leg. 3-1 for them. Just a quick reminder. Karim Benzema opened the scoring, followed by a goal from Asensio. Asensio scored the third goal. Karim Benzema opened the scoring. Sergio Ramos with a penalty in the second half, and Asensio capitalized and finished the night. Luis Muriel tried to start a comeback with an amazing free kick, but it ended 3-1 on the night for Real Madrid, 4-1 for the Spaniards on aggregate. Listen, for Madrid, they'll be glad to have a better run than last year, reaching the quarterfinals this time. And with a tough going at the league as well, they'll be looking to come back to European glory. On the other hand, Atalanta, you should never write them off. They have the second best attack in Serie A, just after Inter with 63 goals, and they're doing a great job in the past 3 years, as I've already mentioned. And now they can just focus on the league. They're at 4th with a lot of competition around them, and they can come back. And their squad is just ever growing and ever improving.
And same question for you as Ryan. Could Real Madrid go all the way in this competition?
It's going to be hard, especially with the likes of Bayern Munich being ruthless against every team, and they're missing a few players, and they're relying on a penalty there, a counter attack here, and Karim Benzema is their main and only decent goal scorer. It's going to be hard. They're going to get close, but I highly doubt that they're going to be lifting the cup this season.
Cool. Mickey, thank you very much. That is it from all of us here today. Thank you to Charlie, Jack and George who joined me in the studio, as well as all the boys who covered the action from around the grounds. That's it from us. The important things for us on the South Coast are Portsmouth lost, Eastleigh got a point, and Bournemouth got a big win in the Championship. Thank you very much for tuning in. James Rand will see you in 2 weeks during the international break to keep you abreast of all the action then. Bye-bye.